Somebody was sitting in front of Pro Tools one day and he was like, what's the most grating, annoying sound I can find? Oh, here's somebody who's dragging a key across the chalkboard. Up your fist.
Situation.
Up your fist. Up your fist. Up your fist.
Situation.
Up your fist.
Just for the music choice alone, they should be fired.
Situation. Situation.
Wow, bros. Wow, dude.
Situation. Situation.
You have chopped lips, dude, in the club. Bitches won't fucking kiss you on the mouth. Off your feet, bitches. Off your feet, bitches.
Situation.
Off your feet, bitches. Off your feet. Off your feet, bitches. Off your feet, bitches.
Situation.
Off your feet, bitches.
Dude, this music is so fucking good.
Situation. Situation. Situation.
Off your feet. Off your feet. Off your feet. Off your feet.
Situation.
Off your feet. Off your feet. Off your feet. Off your feet.
Situation.
Off your feet. Off your feet. Then like Trump called him a loser, and like I was like fucking totally owned it. You know? Just jump up and down and pump your fist.
Trump, bro.
Warning. The Drunken Peasants podcast is full of comedic exaggerations, independent thought, insensitivity, and other offensive content. We strongly urge all viewers and listeners to keep their brains in their skulls throughout the entire duration of this podcast. Failure to do so will result in immediate death. If you wish to support this podcast, there are several ways to do so. First, you can sign up for a free audiobook trial at audibletrial.com/drunkenpeasants. Audible is the foremost seller of audiobooks today with hundreds of thousands of titles to satisfy all manner of tastes. Second, if you shop on Amazon.com, please use the Amazon affiliate links in the description section of this video. Every purchase you make helps to support this podcast's existence. Third, please peruse our merchandise and see if any of it strikes your fancy. We sell a lot of t-shirts, so we must be doing something right. One more thing before I go. To make an official submission to the Drunken Peasants, whether it be a video for one of our segments, or fan art, or a picture of you wearing one of our shirts, or anything you think we might want to use on the show, that stuff needs to be sent to the Drunken Peasants Facebook inbox. Please do not send correspondence, as this will be deleted unread. With all that shit out of the way, it's time to begin the show.
Coming to you live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants Podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it! Hey, man. You got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck you talking about, atheist? It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be light.
You're garbage, TJ.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Oh no!
Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome to episode 261 of the Drunken Peasants motherfucking podcast. Yes!
Smoke weed every day.
All right, then. Calm down, Ben. It's okay.
Who's Ben?
I don't know.
Who's Ben, TJ? Who's Ben, TJ?
I don't know.
Who's Ben?
I'm not sure.
Who's Ben?
I'm not sure, Ben. 261, huh?
261, TJ.
TJ. Shouldn't it be Chi-J?
261, TJ.
TJ.
Man, TJ, fuck you, TJ, because you know, TJ, you're always doing this kind of shit, TJ.
TJ. I know what you're saying. I know what's going on here. Scotty's not here, so you're trying to be Scotty.
The truth will be revealed,
Trying
TJ.
to capture that Scotty vibe.
TJ,
Yeah,
the truth will be revealed, TJ.
it will. All right, neat. Can't wait for that. In the meantime, let's promote the New Orleans meetup.
TJ.
Yeah. 95 people going, 100 people interested. Happening on July 30th at 9 p.m. at the Napoleon House in New Orleans, Louisiana. You can check that out. Special guest fucking Dusty Smith and all the Drunken Peasants will be there. Except for Scotty, because we killed him. Buried him in the backyard. But no one likes him anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Man, fuck you, TJ.
But more importantly, I guess we got guests going on here. We got guests.
TJ.
Yeah.
TJ, your fucking energy, TJ, is pretty... I don't know, it's pretty low at this point, TJ.
Yeah.
What's your problem, TJ? Is it all the drugs you've been taking, TJ?
Maybe. Let's get our guests on here, huh?
Oh, fuck you, TJ.
Let's get our guests going.
Let's get our guests going.
Yeah. About those guests, huh?
Who's our guest?
Our guest is DarkMatter2525. Twice 25. Oh yeah. He's coming.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing, sir?
I am good. How are you guys?
We are also good. Thank you for asking.
What's going on, Ben? What's going on, Pennywise? How's it going, guys?
Going good.
It's been a while.
You're not gonna say hello to our guest, Paul?
Oh, sorry. Hey, Dark Matter. What's up, man?
How you doing, Paul?
Don't be rude to our guest, Paul. It's hard. It was hard to get him. We've been trying for a really long time.
I was not rude.
You were so rude.
I was courteous and receptive to courtesy.
I don't think so.
I am kind of offended at Paul's hesitation, and I think it's time for me to go. I mean,
wow.
Shit, Paul. God damn it, Paul. You fucked this
You ruined
up for
everything, Paul.
God.
Man,
no wonder your
guest.
dad called you worthless, Paul.
Yeah, I'm starting to agree.
I'm gonna pencil you guys in 2019. We'll say if everything's
So,
yeah.
Dark Matter, why is it so hard to get you on a show? Dude?
Yeah.
Well, all right. A couple of reasons. I don't check my messages all that often, and also I don't think I'm that good off of the cuff. I can come up with some funny shit if I have time to write it all down. But I'm not that quick-witted, so I'm a little nervous about talking to big audiences like you guys get. So I'm bound to make an idiot out of myself, and just putting that out there.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you'll
that's kind of
feel,
the show.
I know,
feel
but
right at home, man. Don't worry about it.
But it's funny when you guys do it. For me, it's just bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
It's not
You know,
funny
it
on
just
our
falls-
end. We're dying inside. We're sitting there the whole time like, oh my God, this audience gonna eat me alive.
Each one of you guys have literally almost killed me, because sometimes I listen to the show while I lift weights, and I have to be careful not to be doing bench presses while I'm listening to you guys, or something where the weight is over my body, because I have broken down laughing while lifting heavy weights, and that shit is dangerous.
Yeah.
People would be mad if we killed Dark Matter. I think that wouldn't be good.
I think that's reason number 9052 why I don't work out, because what if I chuckle in the middle of a fucking workout and die? Fuck that.
I've such a realistic impending concern.
Yeah.
What's that?
I've had weight that I should have been able to push up, but I struggled with for 10 seconds trying to hold in this laugh, and then I finally push it up.
Oh,
See, fuck that. I just avoid it. Avoid all physical exertion.
My girlfriend tells a story about she was in an atheist group in college, and at the end of the meetings, they were like, we'll watch some YouTube videos. And the main thing they watched was your animations, Dark Matter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
and Chelsea was always like, "Fuck that shit. Let's watch The Amazing Atheist." And they're like, "I don't know about that. He's too offensive. That might make some people upset." But I'm sitting there like, man, how is his shit less offensive? You got offensive shit going on in your cartoons all the time. It's nonsense.
There's something about cartoonifying something, I think, that makes it
instantly
less offensive. Yeah.
I've been trying to find ways to be a little more mainstream, but like if you look at my earlier stuff, it is a lot more crass.
Yeah. I miss that crassness.
We get more and more crass as we go along.
Yeah, like we get lower and lower brow.
Yeah.
Well, my next cartoon is going to be more crass. It's going to have Hillary and Trump and Muhammad, and it's going to be a clusterfuck. So that should ruffle some feathers.
I hope that at some point something gets shoved into Hillary's ass. That's all I say.
All right. Well, okay. I think we have different standards of crassness now.
Yeah.
See,
I mean,
TJ,
it doesn't even need to necessarily be like a sexual thing. Like, even if just like, since rhinos are popular on the show, a rhino could just show up and like fucking jam its horn up there and kind of carry her off, screaming into the woods, you know. And then America cheers.
Hey, I don't know if you know
rhinos
this.
Live in the woods.
I don't know if you know this, Paul, but I actually had a Twitter conversation with AIU.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How did that turn out for you?
Well, it ended up turning out okay, honestly. I mean,
they bonded on the mutual ground of making fun of me.
Well, first he told me to like eat a satchel of dicks and stuff like that.
Sure.
But then I just insulted TJ. I said that TJ's torso looks like he just had a litter of puppies, and then he liked he liked that comment, and then was like, after that, he was at least cordial to me.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's all
if you guys want to get
in the door.
if you guys want to get in AIU's good graces, just be like, "Hey, AIU, TJ's fat fucking turd, dude."
And we were
He'll be
going.
like, you know what you're talking about.
We were going to see if he would come on our show and debate Creationist Cat or Vadim. Debate Vadim, actually, and he said no way ever. He'll never fucking come on our show ever. So
ever.
Really? Why not?
That's
hard
that.
and fast no.
He won't come on our show because he says our audience is a bunch of autistic retards, and he doesn't want to deal with them.
Got it. Okay.
Is there a chat? I don't, because that says it's disabled here on YouTube.
Oh, if you refresh the screen, it'll come up. I opened it just a few moments before we went on.
Oh, okay, because we'll see what people are saying about me. I might regret it.
Going on the Drunken Peasants is beneath me. I graduated from UCLA. I've traveled my entire life. Yeah, no way. That's a hard no, TJ.
It's a hard no.
I am now looking at the chat, so if anybody wants to talk about how handsome I am, or if they...
There you go. I can almost guarantee that that's the opposite of what you're going to see now. Anytime you ask the chat for something, you get pretty much the exact opposite of what you wanted. So,
right.
Ben is in
it's
fucking
moving
cahoots.
too fast for me to even fucking read. So,
what were you saying?
Ben, you're in fucking cahoots with AIU now?
No,
it was the first.
No, I can tell you exactly how the conversation went. First, so I followed him, and then immediately after that, I get a message that says micro, and what I did was I typed out macro and put an asterisk next to it, like that, like I was correcting him. And then, he said something how I was like. He said I wasn't Fat Jesus, that I'm one of his yes men. So I'm pretty sure anyone familiar with the program knows I'm not TJ's yes man at all. What else did he say?
Yeah,
there are a few, most of those I just ignored. I didn't respond to most of those. So yeah.
It seems like to have a conversation with AIU, you kind of have to get through his barrage of insults and shit first.
I was already ready for all of them. He said he was going to send me a book. It was like AIU for Dummies or something. So I sent him the P.O. box and asked him if he'd autograph it for me.
I think dummies already understand AIU.
You guys were most decidedly wrong. I've had several offers of sexual intercourse. I am open to inseminating many people. I don't know if they're male or female or what, but there's a lot of people who want my babies. You guys were very wrong. Sorry to say.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Dark Matter's passing out babies like fucking coupons on a street corner, man. Just fucking, you want a baby? Bam!
I mean, if in order to do this, I'm going to have to basically one-man bukkake the entire chat.
Yeah. Everyone, open up your computer's settings tab and fucking enable the jizz to come through. Because that's usually blocked, but he will jizz through the screen onto everyone's face.
Yeah, you got to upgrade
you
to
just
Windows 10.
scoop some of that off and just, like, you know, shove it in the appropriate orifice, and
there you
will
go.
be impregnated with yet another of Dark Matter's offspring. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they can grow up to make that big YouTube animation money for you. It's gonna be awesome.
I'd jizz on all of you, but it wouldn't do you any good. What you got would be worthless.
Yeah, just that immodal fucking goo that shoots out of your useless shriveled testicles.
My testicles are not shriveled. Okay?
Fucking Paul's sperm just kind of sitting there like, should we swim towards the egg?
Yeah. Don't you have like?
Is there a Burger King in the egg?
You have like really low-hanging pendulous balls, right, Paul?
I mean, they don't dip into the water when I'm shitting or anything, but you know, they're pretty big balls.
Before. It's never happened before.
I've never dipped my balls in the water before. No.
Shit.
No, they're not that low, but they're big. You know, they're decent sized balls.
Sure, Paul.
You know what I mean.
I immediately feel better about the potential for me saying something dumb in front of thousands of people.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We're talking about my fucking balls.
That's what we do.
What the fuck? What's to be nervous about?
Paul's balls. It's kind of like Hell's Bells, only like less epic, or maybe it's more epic. I don't know. I've never seen your balls.
The reason I'm infertile is not because like my sperm aren't formed correctly or whatever. It's because they just share the same thoughts about working out that I do.
I know. They're like, just lazy sperm. You just got lazy fucking jizz, dude.
Why risk it? Let's just hang out here. It's nice and warm here in the vagina. Let's just stay right here.
I don't see no reason to make no big trek along the fucking fallopian bullshit. I say we just stays here, enjoy it while we can.
I think it's time to move on
to the information segment.
Yeah, and of course I don't have the website ready yet, so
you lazy piece of shit, Ben.
Hey, can I try that? Can I try to do the thing? It's time to learn something.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I sound as much like a drunk homeless person when I say it, but maybe I do. I don't know. Shit.
You sound like Pennywise. That's what you sound like.
I've seen that a lot in the chat. I've seen that Pennywise in the chat a lot.
It was a big issue on the last episode, the whole Pennywise thing.
I missed the last episode.
Yeah, we basically made fun of Egghead like 90% of the episode. And, you know, then it was like a big argument over who pushed Egghead to the brink. And the metaphor we use is like, who's the Pennywise in this situation? And, you know, some people said it was Paul, some people said it was me. But most people know it's Paul.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it.
You know, did anyone Photoshop me as Pennywise? No. Someone Photoshopped you as Pennywise, Paul.
That's because you don't have a Photoshoppable face, man.
Yeah, well, you know, if I was Pennywise, it'd be easy to fucking Photoshop me in a Pennywise, but they didn't do it. Time to learn something.
All right.
We're going to read the DP Wiki's fucking knowledge about genders. Genders. We're going to learn about the genders. Genders are characteristics that differentiate the male and female sex. It has been caused by billions of years of biological and psychological evolution and has been proven as such. However, many feminists and SJWs think that gender LP is some man-made construct from the patriarchy, and because of this has made up as many genders as there are people in the world. The term gender binary is, according to SJWs, the false dichotomy created by the patriarchy to keep men and women from expressing their multiple genders and instead force them to assign themselves with the gender they were born, crossed out, assigned in. Non-binary genders. Non-binary genders are a fictional, made-up, new age bullshit from SJWs to make certain individuals feel special about themselves by coming up with nonsensical genders like gender fluid, agender, or attack helicopter gender, because according to them, gender is a social construct. No, known non-binaries. TJ is I don't know what I am. It's down there. Banana gender. I'm a banana gender.
Yeah.
Which is a third gender in which your biological sex is perceived as a banana. TJ prefers ass/fruit pronouns. That's true. Ben is a mask gender, which means his gender fluidity is dependent upon whether or not he wears his masks. Ben prefers anonymous/face pronouns. Scotty is an egg gender, which means his gender expression is amplified by the consumption of eggs. Scotty prefers yolk/shell pronouns. Mario Brisson, Illuminati gender. That's, of course, the vigilant Christian. Brett Keane is believer fluid. I like that.
He is.
As he changes his religion, gender with his mood. It is never stagnant. He prefers individual/situation pronouns.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Brett Keane actually is believer fluid, dude.
He is. I know.
From an evolutionary perspective.
Time to learn. Hold on one second. There you go. From an
From
evolutionary perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of like we've undergone a gender Cambrian explosion, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I think there's... How many genders are there now? Let's see. I can open like a list of genders. Gender list. And there's new ones being made up every day.
There's one to suit any disposition. Like any way that you
time,
happen
any day,
to feel,
any
there's a
mood.
gender.
This is a list of non-binary identities. Agender flux, androgen, apora gender, ash time. Okay.
Ash time. Okay.
Berdash, bigender, Bernesha, butch, demi-boy, demi-gender, demi-girl, NB, Fafafun.
Fafafui.
I don't know. I don't know. FTX, Galley, gender fluid, gender flux, genderless, gender neutral, gender queer, gender void. Gender void.
Gender void.
Fall into the gender void.
Hydra, intergender, Mahu, Maverick, MTX, Neutrois. Oh my God! What is this? I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Ninaposkitspix. This word literally contains a PXPE in it. What is this?
What the fuck?
In North America, the Blackfoot Confederacy recognizes a gender called manly-hearted women who are assigned female at birth and occupy a gender role different from that of men and women. Okay. Non-binary.
I just need to know if you got an innie or an outie, and I'm good. I don't care what you call yourself.
Oh, there's so many, though. There's so many. Don't you need to know? Yin Yang Ren, X gender, XTX, vague gender.
What's Yin Yang Ren? That's a gender?
In China, Yin Yang Ren are people who have equal amount of both feminine and masculine qualities. Usually this means gender non-conforming and bisexual, but can also mean transgender or intersex.
All right. Okay. Time to move on to the next segment here. Next segment. Yes.
So many genders.
We actually have a troll or not a troll video. Here it is.
Hello and welcome. It is time. It is now time to get rid of your HIV for good. Yes.
Finally.
Now, I know you saw the title and you're
also,
like, oh my
white
gosh,
coat means immediate credibility, by the way, just so you know.
Yep.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, this man is a professional. He knows exactly what he's talking about.
What is he doing? He's not reversing the disease now. Reversing cures, whatever. I mean, at this point, I'm getting sick and tired of, having this Western medicine continue to get out of control. Obviously, if you've seen my other videos, you know I have nothing to do with Western medicine. Western medicine was started by the Rockefellers and the Carnegies. In the 20s,
shit. He just
30s,
negated the white
and it
coat,
got big,
dumbass.
A lot bigger in the 40s. And
what are you talking about? I believe everything he's saying because of the white coat. Western medicine is all Rockefellers and Carnegies, dude.
It's all
Western
bullshit.
medicine is what is the white coat. I mean...
Well, that's just to throw you off his trail or whatever. I don't know. He wears a white coat.
That's when they came up with
what
the
he
American
does.
Malpractice Association. Oh, I mean American Medical Association.
Oh, burn.
Yeah,
So they
sick
could
burn.
kind of run ads and tout against natural ways as quackery. And that's been going on for a number of years. So they've been treating symptoms since the 40s. Never cures. Although they did have something for polio back in the 50s. And they realized what a mistake that was.
I'm saying not a troll, personally.
Yeah, this is definitely... I don't think this is a troll. This just seems like a quack.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going down that road too.
Me too. I thought it wouldn't be so obvious, but then watching it again, like, pretty close.
It's pretty obvious. It's just a crackpot motherfucker.
All right. I guess it's time to move to DP Action News.
DP Action News.
Yes. All right. First thing we have here is a video clip that TJ actually sent to me. Black radio show calls for the killing of cops. So this is an actual terrestrial radio show?
Yeah, and I'd also like to say that when I downloaded this or when I found it on YouTube, it said in the description that someone had said this was the thing that that last cop killer listened to this radio show before he did what he did. I don't know if that's true. I've not been able to confirm that, but it's interesting to kind of watch it in that context, I guess.
If that's the case, in your opinion, do you think they should have any sort of legal culpability for this?
I don't know if they should. I mean, I think maybe what they said on its own might be illegal. I don't know. You be the judge. Because it does seem kind of like it is an actual call for violence.
Ladies and gentlemen, Monday will never be the same. Y'all done got me serious. Normally I come in here with a t-shirt on and some shorts. But I had to get serious. I had to get down to business. It's a lot of shit going on in the world. And we got to get down to business in order to deal with it. I'm seeing a lot of people trying to have a conversation, but in my estimation, a lot of people ain't being real. We about to have the realest conversation about what's really going on in America.
Damn right.
What's with the drum track?
I don't know. It is kind of strange. Obviously, nothing that incendiary has thus far been said, but I don't want to just let it play all the way through. But there's going to be... It's going to go a lot further, I think, than you probably imagine it would.
America today.
Goddamn.
Goods produced by white people that hate us. We're externally motivated. We got to be externally motivated spiritually. This is why we fuck up all week long, then go to church to get the good word, then on Monday go back to the bullshit we was doing the week before. We're externally motivated. We got to see Sandra Bland get choked out and killed. We got to see these brothers get killed.
Well,
then we
Sandra Bland
externally
killed herself, didn't she? So he's got his cases mixed up. The guy that was selling cigarettes is the one that got choked. Well, I forgot his name.
Yeah, there's been quite a few. It's hard to remember. What was that guy's name? Oh well.
motivated. What about doing shit before somebody gets shot?
That's why I say you need to go to that police officer's house and drag him and his family out and buck them motherfucker.
That's
Yep.
And his family, huh?
His whole family.
You gotta go to that. You gotta go to that cop's house. You gotta drag his whole family out, and I don't know what he said after that.
Buck them.
What is that?
Buckshot.
So basically, just shoot him.
Shoot him.
Just shoot him and his family.
See, a big complaint with the Black Lives Matter has is that how they say the police are biased when it comes to black people. They're afraid of black people, and going out and killing cops and inciting violence like this is the exact wrong thing to do to solve that problem. And I've actually heard the police, another thing Black Lives Matter wants to do is demilitarize the police. And I've seen the police on the news using the police killings as justification for more militarization. So this is very counterproductive for their actual goals.
Yes. I mean, the answer to this is oversight. The answer is not to drag policemen and their families into the street and shoot them, because that is not going to engender any kind of, positivity in a policeman's heart when it comes to the black community if you start doing that.
Are you
it's
sure,
solved
guys?
with oversight.
Anyway, yeah, let's, it actually gets worse.
Look what we done been through. This is what we need to do. We need to get at them motherfuckers. Fuck that shit.
We gotta plan that. I tell you that.
Racist white motherfucker.
We gotta be organized on that side of the game.
Well, the problem is,
It ain't hard to do.
Don't nobody want to take the rap for that.
Well, it's
That's
better.
what you need. Hey, if that's where it's gotta be, nobody is more Malcolm than me.
Hey,
I love Malcolm. If
None
that's
of
where
these
we gotta be.
motherfuckers are going to be the ones that go out and shoot a fucking cop. They'll sit and talk about it all goddamn day, but they're not going to be the ones that do it. So don't act like you're going to put yourself out there in a way that you're not.
No one's more Malcolm than him, dude.
We gotta be smart. We gotta be organized.
The brother in Dallas was motivated and he was organized, but by himself, he could only take out a certain amount. If it was more people with him, then they'll recognize that and they wouldn't be able to call everybody cowards.
So, basically now admonishing, basically saying like they wish that the Dallas shooter had had more support in the black community. Right. That, he would have been able to shoot more cops if only more people had stood with him.
Yeah. It's not good enough that one guy killed 8 cops. Think of what, 8,000 could have done. Everybody needs to hit the streets and just kill cops now. Fantastic idea.
Cops that had absolutely nothing to do with what they were outraged about. And, cops I saw who were hurting people away from the gunfire and then charging into the gunfire before they even knew what was going on. I mean, they didn't know it was all about that they were being specifically targeted yet. I mean, they were the exact wrong people that this guy killed.
I saw someone in the chat call these guys the Klan with a tan.
The Klan with a tan. Yeah.
Well, like they tried to call that man.
Black people treat white people the way they want to be treated. White people treat black people the way they expect black people to treat them.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that was gibberish.
They expect, dude, that's why they are so afraid. They are so afraid of you because of what has been done to you that they know that's what I would do if I was him. What I would do.
Why would they be afraid of us, the people who just advocated dragging people's families out of their houses and killing them and bemoaning the fact that the Dallas shooter didn't have more support? What's to fear from us?
I know if I was out in public overhearing a conversation like this, I'd be perfectly at ease.
Be like, I ain't worried about this situation at all.
Nope.
Guys, I'm sorry. The show is off the rails. We got 2 minutes to get out of here. I mean, literally, for the next show come in. Listen, that's it. We can't promote nothing. We just got to get up out of here. Zoe What Morning Show was crazy. We just got to
If the police pull you over, a good idea to do, I heard a few people do this and it worked, call 911,
Dial 911.
and say that you are in fear of your life. And then put that damn phone right on the dashboard and you let the officer know, I have 911 on the phone right now because I'm in fear of my life. Then once that's established, then you can go in and you proceed.
All right.
Yeah, that's a little different than dragging a cop out into the street. Are we walking it back here at the end of the show?
That guy's thing didn't seem that bad. That's whatever, if you could do that if you want, I guess. Might be kind of a waste of 911's time, but better than dragging cops out of their houses and shooting them or helping people commit mass cop shootings, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that was an incitement to violence? Do you think that they should be culpable if the shooter was in fact listening to their show? This last shooter who shot these people in New Orleans, I think his name was not New Orleans, it was in Baton Rouge or some suburb of Baton Rouge. What was his name? Gavin Long, I believe.
I mean, I don't know. Is this the first? I'd have to hear the show that he, purported to have listened to, or hear more like examples of this shit. I don't know if this goes off the rails like this constantly, or if just this one time people were hot-headed and said some stupid shit. But clearly, it was after the Dallas shooting, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was after the Dallas shooting, but I think it was before the Baton Rouge shooting that happened. So I don't know. What about just on its own? Do you think that the stuff they said could be considered like an incitement of violence?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I think it could be considered that. Whether or not they should be punished in any way for it, I don't know.
I don't know. It's when we're talking about freedom of speech, there's a line where you cross where the incitement of violence is not protected.
Sure.
And,
yeah, but did they cross that line is like the real question. I mean, saying that they'd wish the Dallas shooter had more support, or that what we really need to do is start taking cops out of their houses and shoot them, is that just like some hot-headed rhetoric that is within the bounds of constitutionally protected speech, or is that actual incitement to violence? Is that actually telling your radio audience, like, yeah, you guys should be out there shooting cops and killing their families?
I think maybe they probably could have gotten away with this much, and if they started talking about specific people, proper names, then they would have gotten in trouble. Yeah.
I mean, I think there is some kind of a difference between an insinuation of violence and an incitement. If they said, everybody meet here, bring your guns, we're going to go on a fucking cop killing rampage. Like, that's, I don't know. It seems like they're skirting the line, certainly. And I don't know the law. So if they were in violation of it, it wouldn't shock me. But I'm not ready to say it's full blown, like, shut them down and arrest them. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to know what you guys felt about that. Anyway, we'll move on.
What is this wacky idea of thinking that you're getting justice by killing somebody who of the same vocation or same color, or that's not justice.
No.
Why do people think that that's justice? I don't understand.
I don't know.
All right, next one is Sheriff David Clark crushes Don Lemon over hateful Black Lives Matter. That's the title. We'll see what the video's all about.
Our breaking news tonight, 3 officers dead, 3 wounded in Baton Rouge. A really tough day for Baton Rouge and for the country, really. Here to talk about how to keep our police safe is Sheriff David Clark of Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. He is going to be speaking at the Republican convention tomorrow night. Sheriff, thank you very much for that horrific day. I spoke to the heads of...
This sheriff is an asshole. We've covered him on the show before. He's pretty much insane from what I've seen in the past. Now, I mean, just because he's an asshole and he's usually wrong doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be wrong here. I'm not trying to poison the well or anything, but this guy has been an asshole in previous things we've seen him in.
The sheriff department, the police department, and the state police down there, and they told us how their hearts were reeling. Their message is peace and coming together in the country. What's your message?
You don't believe that for 1 minute, do you?
That their message is?
Yeah.
That's what they said to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe them. Of course
Any protests over the deaths of these cops today in Baton Rouge?
I don't know that. I don't know that.
Any riots or protests over the police officers in Dallas, Texas?
You see, the one problem with that, though, is that you don't protest criminals. I could see rioting. I don't, but like criminals don't give a shit if you protest. So
true.
Yeah, another thing is, like, why would Black Lives Matter actively protest cops being shot. I mean, it's not their pet issue. They're all about black stuff. You know, they're not cop lives matter. You know, you can start your own organization if that's what you want to, you know, make your pet issue.
Well, I think the contention he's making here is that Black Lives Matter has progressed to a place where they do, if not openly celebrate the killing of cops, certainly tolerate it. And I don't know.
I would say, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because Black Lives Matter as an organization is so fucking vague and nebulous in terms of what connects them to one another that there's tons of people out there. Like I retweeted something. What?
Nothing.
I retweeted something earlier today that, not earlier today, but earlier this week. There was a woman who was sharing pictures of her baby, like she had a newborn baby and shit, and she's like, "Oh, it is, you know, melts my heart" or whatever. And then some black chick is like, "You know, it would melt my heart if it died. Black Lives Matter. Down with Whitey," whatever. You know.
That's why Black Lives Matter is always going to be at the mercy of its lowest common denominator. Any moron could just say the most awful thing and then throw a hashtag Black Lives Matter onto it, and then everyone's going to be, "Oh, the Black Lives Matter again."
Yeah, I mean that is the problem. But I mean, you know, it's because there's no codified organizational structure or anything. Anybody can just say, "I'm Black Lives Matter, and here's what I think," and it could be some crazy, reprehensible shit. And then if that's your experience with Black Lives Matter, that's what you're going to walk away thinking Black Lives Matter is all fucking about. So, yeah, I'm sure there are people out there who are calling themselves Black Lives Matter or associated with it that are saying, "Yeah, fuck them cops that died, and I hope they die more," and all this shit.
Why do other, like, peaceful protest organizations not have this problem, you know, or, like, peaceable organizations with goals? Like, why is there nobody going, like, "Look at this person from Greenpeace says that fucking rape is okay"? You know what I mean? Like,
I think they do, though. I mean, I think that, you know, if you're in Greenpeace, you get saddled with, like, the eco-terrorist thing. I think that, you know, when there was protests over, like, when there's been protests over, like, trade deals and stuff, you know, there usually be some anarchists that show up and fucking firebomb some buildings or fucking smash out windows, and then the whole protest group just looks like they're a bunch of thugs and shit, even though it's just a fringe minority. So, I mean, I think it does happen to other people's protests as well. But, you know, obviously the attention is on Black Lives Matter right now because you know, all these racial issues are so pertinent with, you know, the cop shootings and the people getting shot by the cops and the questions about, like, was this justified or not? And now people just saying, like, well, if these cops done wrong, then all cops have done wrong, and it's good to just fight. We'll just kill all the cops, and it'll be great, and everything will be fixed. I don't know, but let's see what these guys, where these guys go with their discussion here.
It's a pretty simple question.
I asked you what's your message to the people. Their message is one of peace. What is your message?
My message has been clear from day one 2 years ago. This anti-cop sentiment from this hateful ideology called Black Lives Matter has fueled this rage against the American police officer. I predicted this 2 years ago. So what I want to know,
okay, Sheriff.
Do I want to know?
With all due respect, do you know that this was because of that?
Yes, I do.
As a law enforcement officer?
I've been watching this for 2 years. I predicted this. This anti-police rhetoric sweeping the country has turned out some hateful things inside of people that are now playing themselves out on the American police officer. I want to know, with all of the black-on-black violence in the United States of America. By the way, when the tragedies happen in Louisiana...
I mean, you don't get to just erase criticism of the police by saying, "Look, all this rhetoric against the police has made people kill us." Well, I mean, maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, but it doesn't change the fact that a lot of the rhetoric against police is fucking true.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana and Minnesota... Do you know that 21 black people were murdered across the United States? Was there any reporting on that?
Black officer who was killed today. But
was there any reporting on that?
Sheriff, please, let's just keep the volume down here. So I understand, and listen.
Let's just keep the volume down. I mean, What a silly thing to say. Why don't you just have a fucking discussion with the fucking guy? If he wants to raise his voice, let him raise his fucking voice. You know, he's on national television with you. I don't think he's going to sock you in the fucking face. I don't think you need to worry about that.
I'm looking at
it looks like the same guy that was cloned and went down 2 different timelines.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, dude. I totally see it. It's true. He's arguing with his own evil twin. Are you saying they all look? Are you saying they all look alike, Dark Matter?
See, this is what I told you. There's thousands of people watching, and I said something stupid. Now that's gonna.
That's not stupid. Whatever.
They all look alike.
You're just busting your chops.
25.
It's a quote.
Dark
Cop
lives
this
matter.
week, and I'm looking at 5 last year. You trying to tell me to keep it down?
Just please. If you'll just please.
If you'll just please. If you'll just please.
The message to people at home, I'm sure you want, is one of civility.
I wish, Don, I wish you had that message of civility
have a conversation
toward this
with you.
hateful ideology, these purveyors of
You don't
hate.
know what my message is.
That's
what I
what
want
they
to say
do.
to you is
These
if you'll
people
let me get
preach
it, are you going to let me get a
vile
word in?
and virtue
We'll be right
in the
back.
name
We're
of
going to go to break,
hate.
and we'll be right back. Are you going to let me talk before you feel it? Back now live with Sheriff David Clark.
You gonna let me talk? You gonna let me talk to? Let me talk, bitch. Going to break. Like, whatever.
Milwaukee County,
It's like,
Wisconsin.
you know what? He's the mirror universe Don Lemon.
Yeah, dude.
Because in Star Trek, the mirror universe, you're evil if you have a goatee. So that's exactly what's going on. Yes,
makes sense.
Holy shit!
Because when Kirk went to the mirror universe and he saw the mirror universe Spock, he looked at Spock and saw that he had a goatee and instantly knew it was evil Spock. So that's kind of what we've got here.
Not only that, the audience instantly knew.
Yep.
Yeah. They did play some scary music, though, at the same time. Yeah, like, you know, it's evil.
Cleveland, you're set to speak tomorrow night. And again, all I want to do is have a conversation. I can't have a conversation with you if we're both talking at the same time. What it sounds like to me is that you're accusing me of violence and supporting something, a narrative that I'm not necessarily in support of. And if that's what you're accusing me of violence, then you can leave. That's not true. I don't support violence of any type against police officers, against anyone. So if you're accusing me of that, then you're welcome to leave.
I didn't hear him accuse you of that. So
He accused you of supporting a group that does that.
Why don't you just
bullshit.
I mean, how can you claim you want a conversation when all you want to do is say don't raise your volume and don't make any sort of implication that maybe this is true of me? That's not a conversation. I mean, you're sitting there trying to control how he's allowed to deliver his arguments, what sort of arguments he's allowed to deliver. You're the one who's fucking being dishonest here. I mean, so I think that we need to switch the goatee around, maybe.
But if you want to have a conversation, I am more than willing to welcome a conversation with you. I don't disagree with you about there is a narrative across the country that could be harming police officers, but we don't know right now, as someone who's in law enforcement, if that was the actual cause of it. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Do we know that generally the American law enforcement officers are racist? Do we know this?
Just say no.
Go on.
I asked a question.
Is that a
I mean, the answer is no. You
just say no.
You can't label all of them racist. I'm sure there's a few out there.
What is with the silence of like, go on? It's like
no
question mark. It's on you now. You take it.
It's an easy question. It's a generalization. Of course, it's no.
Is this? Let me ask you this: is this wild generalization accurate?
Right.
Go on. It's like.
Do I know if American general law enforcement are racist? I don't think anyone is accusing. If you're insinuating,
the answer is no. Just what do you think is going to happen if you just say no to that question? What happens then? Why you got to do this? Why you got to do this tap dancing political bullshit?
They are accusing that though. I've seen plenty of people say that.
Yeah. So I mean, like, plenty have. But why doesn't he just say no then? Is what I'm saying. It's like it's so easy to answer that question. Just say no. Listen to Nancy fucking Reagan, dude.
But she was talking about drugs.
TJ of all people say just say no.
Yeah.
I say just say no to that question.
Yeah, but that's
just
not,
say now to drugs.
But that's not what Nancy Reagan was telling you to just say no to.
I know. I just I took her words and I transposed them into a new situation. In fact, if someone comes to you and say, "Do you not want drugs?" then you just say no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that people are accusing or saying that law enforcement across this country as a whole are racist.
Okay, plenty of people have said that. Come on. Plenty of fucking people have said that.
Then your assumption is wrong.
First of all, this whole anti-police rhetoric is based on a lie. There is no data, and you know this. There is no data, there is no research that proves any of that nonsense. None. Even
you'd have to be more specific about what data and what nonsense you're talking about.
That law enforcement officers treat black males different than white males in policing in these urban centers.
There is data that supports
There is not data.
No. The president spoke about it. Cedric Alexander, who is a law
president has
enforcement
been
officer.
lying about it. He said it again the other day when he said black males are 2 times more likely to be shot by a law enforcement officer than white males. Don, that is a lie.
That is not a lie.
It is a lie.
Yes.
Show me.
I think it's actually an
Show
order
me.
of magnitude higher, isn't it?
What's that?
Than twice. I think it's actually an order of magnitude higher than twice as likely, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
The research that we have from the Washington Post, that
The Washington
facilitative
Post
study,
debunked
there's
that nonsense.
There's also research.
He also said
Sheriff,
this time.
There's also research.
He
from
continues?
A Harvard professor that also showed that black people are treated more aggressively by police officers.
No, you are
than other
wrong in your interpretation of that Harvard study, because I read the study. That's not what he said. He said he was surprised to find
that in shootings of the most severe in shootings that he found no evidence that there was a difference. Also, it should be noted that that study was a very small sampling of police departments across the country. Many people did not find it credible, but it is also interesting that in that research he found that blacks were treated differently when it came to aggressive policing, but for the most egregious shootings he found no difference. That's what that's.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing is that the Harvard study just factored in the fact that black people have more dealings with the police. I mean, if you're disproportionately dealing with police, then yeah, you're probably going to be disproportionately represented in shootings. But it's kind of interesting that, you know, if you actually adjust for that, then white people and black people are shot pretty much at the same rate. And the vast majority of the people who are shot are armed. And a lot of the ones that weren't armed were shot because they were reaching for an officer's gun, trying to wrestle it away from them. At least that's the fucking official narrative. Now, I don't always trust the cops' official stories, but if you don't have a fucking camera there at the scene, it's kind of hard to know the truth. I mean, because we've seen, of course, that there are instances where cops will shoot someone in the back and then plant a taser on them and be like, "You went for my taser," you know? So, yeah, I mean, I think that the real answer to, like, these problems is just, like, if you have to actually be able to ascertain the truth of what happened in these situations. You need to have fucking body cams on police. They need to be body cams that can't be turned off, that can't be erased, that can't be fucking that don't just easily fall off the fucking uniform. You know, and there needs to be a civilian oversight board archiving this fucking footage. It doesn't need to be in the hands of the fucking police force. And I mean, how many problems would that solve? Tons of them. Just tons of fucking problems solved if that's what you do.
I'd say most. I'd go as far as to say that most of the problems that people have with the police, if there was like a full-blown, like every interaction you have with a citizen must be taped by your body cam, that, you know, I mean, what as long as there were like staunch penalties for tampering with the camera or shutting it off or covering it.
Yeah, and
you know,
these cops, they fucking the departments that have actually done this, they've seen their fucking instances of people reporting police brutality go down.
Yeah.
They've had instances where these body cameras have proven that the police didn't use brutality when people have accused them of it. Like, oh, I was subject to police brutality. And then they look at the camera footage and they say, oh, no, he wasn't. He's a lying piece of shit. Because guess what? Cops lie. Criminals lie. All right?
Yeah, I would say the only unfair part about that is that the cops' word is usually taken over the the suspect.
That's all the more reason why the fucking body cams need to be in place.
Exactly, I agree. Body
We don't-
cams solve all that.
becomes moot.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think anyone's word should be taken with more credibility.
I mean, look, in the past, that was the best way that we could do it. It was your word versus mine, but we don't live in that place anymore. We're in a place now where, like, we could feasibly do body cams on every police officer in the United States. Why wouldn't we?
Well, based on what? Just generally? Or are we talking about high crime areas? Are we talking about police officers being under attack? Because let's go back to where this whole thing started in Ferguson, Missouri. The lie was hands up, don't shoot.
Lumping a whole bunch of things into one. If we can do one specific
That's
thing
where
and
this
stick to
whole
it,
phony movement
then we'll get to
started.
it.
It started out as hands
You're
up, don't
talking
shoot.
about Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Okay. So if you want to, if you would need to speak to someone who is a member of Black Lives Matter about whether they have perpetrated a fraud on the American people. That's up to Black Lives Matter. That's not me. I'm neither a member of Black Lives Matter, I'm neither a supporter or someone who doesn't support them. I simply report on Black Lives Matter.
Do you condemn the anti-police rhetoric coming from this hateful ideology?
As a journalist sitting here on television, I don't have to condemn anyone, anything. That is something that you can ask other people around the country.
I
that
condemn
it's their
them
jobs to condemn
just
that.
like I condemn the
Just report
hateful
the fact.
ideology out of groups like the KKK. All right? I condemn it. There is no place in American discourse for that sort of vile, vitriolic hate coming out of this ideology. This has fueled and fanned the flames of this anger toward the American police officer. There's only one group in America, one time, that truly cares about the lives of black people in these urban ghettos, and it's the American police officer who goes down there.
Shut up.
wow.
All right, you lost me.
Yeah, come on. Don't be absurd.
Yeah, he was going a little too far. For a little while, I was like, yeah, I mean, I can kind of go along with.
I feel like sometimes I agree with one of these guys or the other guy, and then sometimes I feel like they're both just idiots and wrong.
This is a both idiots time for me. Like, neither one of them is making a compelling argument. Like, what are we supposed to believe that, like, every police, every police department in the United States, like, has a morning and evening meeting where they're like, all right, let's get out in the ghetto and help some black people today. Like, no. You just because you don't like some of the rhetoric coming out of Black Lives Matter doesn't mean you get to paint the police as some fucking sainted organization that never does anything wrong. Oh, shit.
Watch this, Paul. I'm gonna hit this shit, and I'm only gonna cough for 5 minutes afterwards.
Yeah, you should have a contest to see who can cough the longest afterwards.
There it went.
Oh my god.
I don't even have to light it.
It went over like a hump, man. Shit. Oh, my brain is fucking scrambled eggs now.
Yeah, dude, no, I'm telling you, that fucking Vader whip that I put.
Dark Matter, you just got like 20% less mainstream, dude. You ruined your career appearing on this shit. Everyone go subscribe to Dark Matter. He'll make more crass things if he has a more crass audience.
All right, back to the show.
You made Lot's daughters pretty hot in that Lot thing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I almost jerked off to that. I'm just saying. I didn't quite jerk off to it. It wasn't quite that hot, but, you know, I was kind of getting there, man.
I need to be, when I'm drawing my cartoons, I need to be thinking about whether it's good enough for TJ to jerk off to. That's the standard.
Yeah. You do tend to make your women pretty busty and attractive in your cartoons. So
that's just a coincidence. I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not intentional. That's like an artistic decision or anything.
Yeah.
All right. So have you? I guess you probably heard about Milo getting banned from Twitter, right? Dark Matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about that, real quickly, before we get into this?
All right. The woman who's getting the hate, Leslie
Jones, I think her name is. Yep.
Yeah. I think what happened with her was that the people who were sending those messages, once she started acknowledging them and retweeting them and stuff, that just kicked it up a notch, because she's essentially giving them her platform. And, that's not going to put a stop to it. That's going to encourage them. I'm not saying it's her fault for getting those messages. I don't condone her getting hateful messages. And, of course, Twitter was getting tons of pressure and, from people saying that something needs to be done about this. And Twitter was looking like the bad guy for a while. And I think Milo ended up being, quite a public scapegoat for the whole thing. And by getting rid of Milo, and made it look like Twitter was actually doing something, which took the pressure off of Twitter. But in reality, what I think it's going to do is it's going to kick up the messages that Leslie gets, because people are going to be pissed off at her because of what happened to Milo. So I think that what Twitter did ended up being kind of selfish. They took the pressure off themselves, and now who's going to fucking pay for it? This Leslie woman is going to end up paying for it in the long run.
Yeah, and I mean, to use someone as a scapegoat, nothing Milo said was ban-worthy from what I saw. I mean, I looked at his tweets to her. I mean, it was basically just like, they're basically saying Twitter is a platform that believes in free speech, unless you want to criticize a mediocre actress. Unless you want to criticize someone for being in a shitty movie you don't like, then you've made a. I mean, I understand that she got some pretty nasty messages from other people, some of whom might have been followers of Milo, but he never incited that. He never said anything that was even like a sly, winky way of inciting that.
Here's a news clip about.
Anyway, so here's we got Milo defending himself.
Dorsey reached out to Jones directly, and the social media company promised to take action. One day later, Milo Yiannopoulos, a conservative writer for Breitbart.com, was permanently suspended from Twitter. Although the company did not specifically cite the conflict with Jones.
Paul's sitting there like,
No, I don't like that Milo was banned. I don't think it was justified. I've looked at the same tweets TJ has, and I think it's silly.
Paul's sitting there like, who's anecdotal now, bitch?
I think someone like Milo needs to be around. For sure.
He's because
he's like a contradiction in many ways, and he stirs up trouble like really bad.
Yeah, I like the shit stirrers of the world, even if I'm not in agreement with them, I like
talked
that
on the show a lot about defending people who are gadflies, who I don't disagree with, but that are capable of stirring the shit.
How many religious conservative people talk fondly about getting butt banged? Seriously.
Not enough, damn it.
They're usually trying to pretend they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called him a racist, and I think he said something like, I must be the first black dick-sucking racist in history or something.
Came after Yiannopoulos posted this tweet to his more than 380,000 followers. If at first you don't succeed because your work is terrible, play the victim. Everyone gets hate mail, FFS. Which I assure you does not stand for French fries and salad.
French fries and salad? Why would you... What? Okay.
Joining us now is Milo Yiannopoulos, technology editor with Breitbart.com.
Thanks for having me.
You've been permanently banned from Twitter.
I have.
I have,
Oh, my.
You've been pretty mean through the years on Twitter.
I've been pretty mean through the years on Twitter, but I don't think that's a reason to excise somebody from the platform. Actually, plenty of people enjoy what I do. Over 380,000 of them, as you say, enjoy what I do, and there's certainly no suggestion whatsoever that I was involved in any kind of racist or sexist harassment of Leslie Jones. What I did was dislike her movie and write a very critical review that she didn't like. After that, I teased her a little on Twitter. If a journalist can't tease a Hollywood blockbuster actress, I don't know what this platform is about. It's a very strange
You saw
thing.
it all, many of your followers, not all, but many of your followers started to attack her as well. I mean,
Yeah.
some of those things were brutal. Wouldn't you acknowledge?
Yes, of course, and some of them are completely disgusting. But I'm not responsible for what other people post on the internet. Is Justin Bieber responsible when his fans cut themselves with the hashtag cut for Bieber? Is Beyonce responsible when her fans go after One Directioners with death threats and rape threats? Of course not. It's preposterous to suggest that a public figure, an entertainment personality, or a prominent journalist is responsible for what other people post on the internet.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yes. Of course you agree with it.
Well, don't you?
Yeah, I agree with it.
I mean, if you're anybody with an audience, it's definitely in your vested interest to be like, no, I'm not responsible for what my audience goes out and does. Fuck that shit. You know, I mean, I've had audience members go on fucking shooting rampages. That was a big thing.
In Europe, right?
Yeah, that was a thing for me. Like I think it was actually a sword rampage. One of my fans went on. He like just stabbed some people with a sword or some crazy shit. Killed like 3 or 4 people. I forget what country it was in, some European country, and it was like, oh, he liked a bunch of your videos. It's like, oh shit, you know. And I was almost like worried that I was gonna get like seriously blamed for it. Only a few people actually took it there, but still, just like, you know. The idea
what was his
that
motive?
It had nothing to do with me. I mean, it was like he was some fucking crazy.
Wasn't he like a Columbine worshiper, kind of?
No, you're thinking of Pekka Eric Ovanen. He was he also went on a shooting, and I did have dealings with him, but he was not my fan. We were actually very critical of one another. People said I was, you know, that's funny because people said I was responsible for that too because I bullied him. You know, I didn't bully him. I pointed out that his weird worship of the Columbine massacre was worrying. And it turned out that it fucking was worrying.
You know, I remember one time one of Venom Fang X's fans like murdered a girl.
Yeah, you're talking about Tony or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He went and killed that girl
No,
because he was
every-
infatuated with her.
Every killer has interests that has nothing to do with why they killed somebody. You know what I mean?
True. Exactly.
And I mean, like, I mean, just like the idea that you could be held accountable for your fans going off and doing something, or we found this group of bullies, and it turns out that several of them like your videos, so you're fucking responsible for their behavior. I mean, like, what the fuck sense does that make?
To what you wrote in 2012 at the Kernel.
Sure.
It was a longer piece. The internet is not a universal human right. We ban drunks from driving because they're a danger to others. Isn't it time we did the same to trolls? Trolls, for viewers who don't know, are how people refer to people like you who are mean on Twitter.
No, that's not the definition of a troll.
Yeah, and I would say most trolls are anonymous. They don't put themselves out there like Milo.
For those of our viewers who don't know, trolls are people who are mean. Damn, bitch. You done failed. Oh, shit, I better not say that. I might get fucking kicked off of this platform.
People like
meanness, you wrote this, right?
No, of
Is
course.
this what happened? You don't agree with this anymore?
No, I agree with it entirely. You know, Twitter is a private company. It's entitled to do what it likes. The problem is it's lying to users. Jack Dorsey says that it's the free speech wing of the free speech platform, the free speech wing, the free speech party, that he wants it to be a utility like water, that Twitter is the place you go if you want to express yourself. That's a lie. There is a systematic campaign against conservative and libertarian points of view on Twitter. And how do we know this? Not from the company's own notoriously opaque statements, but from the fact that they apply their own rules so capriciously and so inconsistently that there is only one possible explanation. Twitter is perfectly happy to host ISIS, to
Aren't
host...
we going to reach a point where it's time to stop just bitching about Twitter and just have a mass exodus from it as a platform? Like, if they continue to demonstrate that they're not interested in having any kind of a balanced discourse.
You know, the character limit alone makes me want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest platform in the world as is, you know, and to have it going out of its way to ban people because they hurt somebody's fucking feelings.
Yeah, I mean, I think as soon as the problem is there doesn't really seem to be any sort of like a viable alternative stepping up. Like, ooh, here's something that's kind of like Twitter and fills Twitter's purpose, but isn't Twitter. But
the funny thing is I pay attention to both sides quite a bit, and a lot of people bitching about Milo. I mean, they cannot stop tweeting about the guy. You look at their timelines and it's like 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, Milo. And if it was on the other end, like say people were doing this about like Anita Sarkeesian or somebody else on the other side, they would be pitching a fit. You know, you guys are obsessed. You're stalkers, harassers, abusers, all these typical words. And, you know, they do the same shit. It's just okay when they do it because they're going after the right targets, you know.
Well, I mean, some of the shit that this Leslie woman was posting, like, granted, in response to being trolled, but still, you know, it goes way beyond the tweet that they showed of Milo's earlier. That was the least insightful tweet I've ever read. Like, it's just like nothing fucking even controversial about it, really, and that's what got him stuffed.
Yeah, he said she was a bad actress. That's pretty racist, dude.
Wow.
To say a black woman is not a good actress, I mean, come on. That's practically KKK shit, dude. I like how ISIS is allowed to have accounts on Twitter, but not Milo Yiannopoulos.
Death threats against Donald Trump supporters, and they do nothing in any of these cases. Not hard enough. But you make a joke about a feminist, or you dislike the new Ghostbusters movie, or you have the audacity to dislike the work in, in Hollywood of somebody who happens to be black or happens to be a woman, and then you get suspended.
Well, let me read you
That's
what Twitter
absurd.
says. We had a guest on from Twitter earlier this morning who spoke about this. We also have just statements and policies that are available on their website. Our rules prohibit inciting or engaging in the targeted abuse or harassment of others. Over the past 48 hours in particular, we've seen an uptick in the number of accounts violating these policies and have taken enforcement actions against these accounts, ranging from warnings that also require the deletion of tweets violating our policies to permanent suspension.
Be careful criticizing public figures on Twitter.
Yep.
Be careful criticizing public figures on Twitter, everybody. You might just be a racist. You might just be a sexist.
That's really what it does come down to. Like, if the things that you talk about include insulting somebody that's a public figure, you might want to find another platform to do it on, because Twitter's clearly not happy with that.
I mean, if Milo had just singled out some random nobody on the internet and had actually, like, incited harassment of them or something, maybe there'd be something of a case here, but he fucking publicly criticized a public figure on a fucking public platform, and it's... How is any of this... How can you interpret any of that as a bannable fucking offense?
Obviously, they just want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is just a case of... We don't like this Milo Yiannopoulos character. He's stirring up too much trouble. This is our excuse. This is our moment to fucking pounce. I mean, we already know that they kind of disapprove because prior to being suspended for life, he was unverified.
Right.
You know, which I'd never even heard of them doing to someone before him. I'd never heard of anyone being who was verified being unverified. Like we thought he was Milo Yiannopoulos, but it turns out he's not.
No,
Sorry.
They know who he is, and that's why they removed it, which makes no sense. That's like he's still verified. You know?
What did Milo Yiannopoulos do that was so bad that he's persona non grata at fucking Twitter? You know, like, why is he the one getting singled out for this special brand of attack?
Did he impersonate somebody, and that was the reason for unverifying him? Because he was impersonating someone with that little check mark or whatever, so it made it look like he was legit.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I've not heard that, but
I don't know. I don't know either. That's what I heard.
I've not heard that.
Wow, you know, right now I think we may have a record. I'm not sure. I can't remember what the Milo episode. We may have a
me.
Maybe I have to look, and I'll check really quick. But we're doing really good right now. I'd say like our top so far has been like 5,130 or so.
If you guys can get me up to 6,000, I'll slam my dick against the microphone.
Holy shit!
Yeah, get people in here.
Yeah, get people in here so everyone can hear Dark Matter's dick smacking up against a microphone.
Yeah, if we get 6,000 people in this room, we will do it.
You're going to want to turn down your volume a lot because, I mean...
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a thunderous crash.
It's going to sound like fucking thunder in the distance.
That's why TJ doesn't offer that, because it would just be like, ping, there you go.
It's like,
there it goes again.
Like, it'd be like throwing a pin into a glass cup for TJ.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna check that really quick here.
Do it, Ben.
I want to see what the peak viewership was for the Milo episode. Here it is. All right.
Do it. Do it, Ben. Do it.
Oh no! You know what? He did get over. You know what? Milo got over 6,000. Milo got 6,046. And
so do you want to make it 6,047 before you'll slam your dick on the microphone?
I mean, I'm still going with 6,000. I said 6,000, so I'll stick to that.
All right. Well, we'll see if that takes us anywhere.
Hopefully my wife doesn't walk in while I'm doing that, because that's going to be really fucking hard to explain.
Yeah, that would be a tough one.
Okay.
There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever, and Twitter has produced none, that I'm in any way responsible for inciting harassment against somebody else. It's just an absurd claim, and there's no proof of it. What there is proof of is that Leslie Jones did not like my review. That I teased Leslie Jones a little bit on Twitter. Well, so sue me. I mean, what's the big deal? No big deal. People do that kind of thing all the time. The reason they came for me is I have been public enemy #1 for Twitter for a very long time.
You acknowledge it's a private company. It can do it once.
Of course, but it's got to be honest with its users. And the other thing, of course,
And it can change its rules anytime it wants.
Of course, but what's going to happen if Twitter does change its rules to clamp down on all the most fun people on its network, all of the most interesting people on its network, is that people are going to leave. Twitter's investors should be very worried right now, because what they're seeing is a platform. They're very concerned with user growth, they're very concerned with the time that the users spend on the site, and they're very concerned with the engagement of their key users.
Investors and executives are concerned about just the opposite, that it's become such a mean place that people abandon it. They've struggled with growth.
But that's a separate but related problem, because Twitter's product is terrible, and Twitter's product has always been terrible.
Why is it terrible?
Well, it is a terrible experience. It is completely befuddling for users. The reason they have problems acquiring new users is that nobody understands how it works. It's not intuitive like Facebook is. And if Twitter had, at the start, built tools to deal with different groups of people who don't really want to hear from each other, this problem would never have happened.
What
the
do
problem
we do about the fact that the internet has become a very mean place?
What do you mean become, bitch?
Yeah, it's always been a mean place.
I mean, what do you mean become? I mean, like, if anything, it's nicer now than it was before.
There's way more oversight now than when I was a kid. When I was a kid,
dude.
Anything went.
Like back in the I remember the older internet shit. Like, I heard about crazy shit all the time. Like, we're gonna go to a fucking we're gonna go to an epilepsy forum and post a bunch of really flashy gifs, try to fucking get people to have epileptic fits and shit. You know, I mean, like, I don't hear about shit like that happening quite as much anymore. The internet, if anything, is nicer than it used to be. You know, I mean, the early days of YouTube, like, you could pretty much say anything to anyone. There was no fucking cyberbullying rules or anything. I mean, I was there in those fucking days of YouTube. You could make a video being like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit, and I'm gonna come kick his ass, and all this other shit. I mean, you could say anything you fucking wanted to say. Now there's actually fucking rules and shit. So if anything, the internet is fucking a nicer, cuddlier, softer place than it once was. I don't know what this fucking bullshit is. Like, the internet's becoming mean.
I think the internet is kind of like road rage, where, like, you notice how people are meaner in their cars than when they're pedestrians. They take a bunch of pedestrians, put them in cars, and then they get road ragey. They'll be more willing to flip you off, swear at you, whatever. That's because, they're separated. They're gone. They're anonymous. They could just drive off and never see each other again. Internet, it's totally anonymous. You're uninhibited.
Yeah, anonymity does weird things to people. That's for sure.
Why is that? And why? And you yourself endorsed.
Well, I mean, I endorse free speech. I endorse people's right to be mean, people's right to be aggressive, people's right to be mischievous and dissident and fun.
In that piece that you wrote for the Colonel, you acknowledged how painful it can be.
Yes, but if
when you're on the receiving end.
You know what? My view is not going to be popular with everybody, but it is popular with a lot of people, and that is if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. My observation in this particular case is that this movie is not doing well. I suspect that Leslie Jones has been deployed on Twitter to play the victim.
The bigger issue, is there a decline in civility because of the internet?
Yes, but one of the things that I've observed as a tech journalist, because I'm tech editor at Bright, was my day job, and I'm not embroiled in controversies like this. One of the things I've observed is there is a particular political slant to a lot of this abuse and harassment stuff. Much of it is.
I don't know if I can agree with this whole she's a plant. She was deployed onto Twitter to be. It sounds more like what happened was just like she's a person who all of a sudden has hundreds of thousands of people listening to everything she says.
Mm-hmm.
And she's probably used to having a much quieter experience in her social media and didn't know how to handle it properly and didn't handle it properly. I don't think that the fucking movie studio was like, Leslie, get out there and argue on the fucking Twitter. No.
That'll get more asses in our Ghostbusters seats. I mean, yeah.
Did any of you see that movie, by the way?
I have not.
Nope.
No, me neither.
I'm going to see Star Trek tomorrow, though.
Oh yeah,
is that
I hear
coming out
that's
tomorrow?
good.
What?
Or is it that's out now? The new Star Trek
It's
is
coming
out?
out. It's coming out. Well, technically Friday, but I'm gonna see like a midnight showing or whatever Thursday. They got some Thursday showings. I'm gonna go see one of those
tomorrow. I am leaving.
Yeah, Ben's leaving tomorrow.
Yes.
Ben's gonna
Where are
die.
you going?
I'm going to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
And then he's gonna go from Albuquerque, New Mexico to New Orleans.
Well, yeah. This is what
man.
I'm going to Albuquerque, and I'm going to Santa Fe, and then I'm going back to Albuquerque, and then I'm flying back to Columbus, and I have to do a few things here for a few days. Like 2 days later, then I'm flying to New Orleans for 3 days, and then I'm flying back.
I don't envy you, man. Like flying is. Let me tell you guys what happened yesterday with my flight. So before I left, TJ was like, "Want to go get some lunch?" And I was like, "Sure." And I started to become more and more aware of the time, but I kind of lost track of it. And then I looked at my phone and I was like, "Fuck, okay, my flight leaves at like 5:45, and it's like 4:30. I should probably be on my way to the airport." So I did. I call an Uber to take me to the airport. I get we get stuck in traffic on the way there. I get there right at the time when it says my flight's starting to board, and I'm boarding group 4. So there's like 3 big groups of people that have to go before me. So I'm checking in, and the guy says, "You missed your flight." And I was like, "No, I didn't. My flight's at the gate. I can get there in plenty of time to get on, and here we go. You know, let me just go." "Nope, you missed your flight." Okay, well, what are my options? "Well, we're going to have to rebook you." He rebooked me on a flight that went to a different city that left 5 minutes after the flight that I was booked on. Like, what? Like, what was the point?
Sounds like an
So I ended up having to
anecdote.
go to Chicago instead of Houston. But yeah, no, flying sucks.
That was
weird. I
weird.
was sandwiched between 2 guys, both on both of the flights. Like, I was the middle seat, and you never want the fat guy as the middle seat.
You went to O'Hare or Midway?
O'Hare, yeah.
The nicer one.
I don't know.
I grew up around Midway.
Yeah, I've been to both of them. I've flown into both of them a few times.
My dad was a pilot. The first time I flew a plane was when I was 7 years old.
Holy shit!
Yeah, he thought it was a good idea to set me in his lap and take the controls, and I grabbed the yoke, and he's like, lower the nose a little bit. So I jammed the yoke all the way forward and put us into a fucking dive. And he threw me into the other seat and was able to regain control. Scared the shit out of me.
TJ would have loved to have been in that plane.
No.
TJ's afraid of flying, so.
Oh yeah.
He's gotten better about it though. We forced him to fly to Europe and back again. So
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit more familiar with the experience now, I guess. So
yeah.
It's not as scary, but it's still kind of just like sucks. I'm not a big fan of flying.
We'll move on now. Here's some guy that's pissed off. It's Roger Stone. He's pissed off at John Kasich and Mike Lee for not endorsing Trump. It is crazy that the Republican convention is going on in Ohio and the Republican governor of Ohio is not going to it.
You said earlier to me before we went on that some of those who lost today were sore losers. How so?
Yeah, look, I mean, let's take Governor John Kasich, for example. He is the governor here of Ohio, the host state. He is not coming to the convention. He pledged to support the nominee. He signed a pledge on national television. He is not honoring that pledge. So he's acting like a petulant child. He's acting like a sore loser. And as far as I'm concerned, this exempts him from any future role in the leadership of the Republican Party. In all honesty, I hope he runs again so I can go out there in the post-Trump presidency and end his political career. In all honesty, I think he's acting like a misfit, and the people around him, they're losers, and they should bow to the will of the...
They're losers. They're fucking losers, eh? These fucking Kasichs, they a bunch of losers. Kasich is such a loser that Trump actually sought him as his VP. Trump actually wanted Kasich to be the VP choice, and they actually, the word on the street is that they told Kasich, like, look, you can pretty much be the most powerful VP of all time. You can pretty much just run foreign policy and shit. You know, you could pretty much just do. Trump just wants to be like a figurehead, like a, Trump brand presidency. He doesn't really want to take the reins too much. So he was offered that position. He said no, because he just doesn't like Trump. Now he refuses to fucking endorse Trump, and he won't go to the fucking convention. That's his right. I don't care if he signed some dumbass pledge that he was going to support the party's nominee. I mean, that's stupid. No, he shouldn't. I don't think he's stupid for not supporting the nominee. I think he's stupid for signing the fucking pledge. I think they're all idiots for signing the pledge. What does it make sense? I'll support whoever it is, even if I fucking think they're a reprehensible piece of shit.
Right.
No, I wouldn't sign that. He shouldn't have signed it. I don't think he should honor it. Fuck that.
It's for the good of the party, TJ. You gotta do what's good for the Republican Party. And dissent right now is not good. We need to kind of coalesce around Trump. Right?
Dissent in the parties is never good. They never like it. I wish that Bernie Sanders would have been more like Kasich and been like, nope, I ain't endorsing shit. Fuck her.
That would have been a much more satisfying end to his candidacy, I'll tell you that much. Like, to not have him bow down and kiss the tip of Hillary's clit, like, at the end of it, that would have been a nice fucking way to end things, but no.
Kiss her clit ring, dude.
And it is true, though, that Trump did ask Kasich, right?
Yeah.
So Trump chose Kasich at some point to be his VP.
Which is an intelligent choice. But Kasich just does not like Trump. He doesn't fucking care for him at all.
I think some of the insults, like some of the jabs he took at him, may be responsible for that to some point.
Possibly, yeah. But yeah, Kasich feels like Trump's a bully. He doesn't like that kind of shit. You see when he's on the national stage, he really doesn't use those kind of tactics. So good for him for not fucking bowing, bending his knee to fucking Trump just because Trump is the guy. Good on him for fucking actually being an independent-minded person and not just fucking towing the party line.
I mean, this guy's talking about ruining political careers. Like, what happens when you tie your rope off to the Trump presidency, and it goes down in fucking flames? Like, what is this soundbite going to do for your fucking political career?
Well, we're going to take a small break here. We will be back in 5 to 10 minutes with Dark Matter and Paul Zigo and Ben and myself. Are you hiring? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all of the top job sites. And now you can.
I have a close friend who owns a small business, and he was looking for some good people to run his office. That's when I told him about ZipRecruiter.com, where you can post your job to over 100 of the top job sites, including social media networks like Facebook and Twitter, all with a single click.
Yeah, and you can find candidates in any city, in any industry, nationwide. Just post once and you watch qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface, and you don't have to mess around with juggling emails or with frequent calls to your office. You just quickly and easily screen your candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast.
Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 800,000 businesses, and right now our listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/talent. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talent. One more time, to try it free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/talent.
Did we mention ZipRecruiter.com/talent?
I think we did.
Downtown, hobo on the ground, says he got a probe. No, I got my chode, but no, that's sick. If I want a dick, I can get a dick. And I like the metal stick with the little drip drip without the knob on the top and all the stickiness. And I know the satisfaction of a man, don't get me wrong. Wires the eyes and baby doesn't turn me on. Like when a man tries to beat me, to drop my hobo clothes and then he tries to feed me. Cracking them out, put in the mouth, suck those out, make scream out. Then I'll be the hobo unit friends talk about standing in the street, getting bent over a vent. Looking forward to the probing experience. Get the lube, dude, use it for the back in action. Stick it in and watch the hobo's ass contraction. Hobo, 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 hobo. Anal, 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 probing. Probing, 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 probing. Hobo, anal, probing. Chillin' at home, watching the tube, sorting a boner for the killing of the hobos in the vicinity of the phone. Feeling good, looking out the window. Looking down the alley for a dirty old hobo. Yeah, I like the anal probing, shoving like the dirty dozen. Says the ladies in the dress, babies, mama said it's cause make me feel like a hobo. Tie me down for anal probing, tossing over whistle, running out my ass. I think it's funny. Take a look, you fucking bust you in the nuts like you're my lover. Fucking dirty hobo dick, it's saucy like the sucker drip. Think twice about your trip, the hobo probing confidence. Building up the mean or something lonely, wait till you're fucking hobo, 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 anal, 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 anal. Robin, 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 hobo, anal, probing. Fuck that, I ain't no tool, bitch. I'm a hobo with two motherfucking fists. And feel that rim shot, big cock in your mouth, fuck, thinking master the anal probe. Greasy, 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 grease it up. Stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it in. Slide it up and down, slide it up and down. Slide it all around. Greasy, 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 grease it up. Stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it in. Slide it up and down, slide it up and down. Slide it all around. Greasy, 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 grease it up. Stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it in. Slide it up and down, slide it up and down. Slide it all around. Greasy, 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 grease it up. Stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it in. Slide it up and down, slide it up and down. Slide it all around. Greasy, 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 grease it up. Stick it, stick it, stick it, stick it in. Slide it up and down, slide it up and down. Slide it all around. Hobo, 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 hobo. Anal, 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 anal. Robin, 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 Robin. Hobo, anal, probing. Tell me how to eat it right. How to save the flavor. All night with my peaches and cream on my body and dream of you, girl. Tell me how to treat it right. I lick your pussy all night, and I am policing dreams with my face in your cream, with details to come. And I believe with your pussy, and I will eat your pussy clean. Tell me that you'll be my girl. Tell me that you'll be my world. Tell me that you'll be that slut in my dreams that I want you to be. Tell me that you'll suck my dick. Tell me that you'll lick, lick, lick. Tell me that you'll rock my cock like a whore and never stop. Never stop. Never stop. Tell me how to stick it right. How to poke you in the pokey and feel tight. With my dick clean from your mouth servicing. Let's go, girl. And I believe with your pussy. And I will scream when your pussy. Tell me that you'll be my girl. Tell me that you'll be my world. Tell me that you'll be that slut in my dreams that I want you to be. Tell me that you'll suck my dick. Tell me that you'll lick, lick, lick. Tell me that you'll rock my cock like a whore and never stop. Never stop. Never stop.
All right, we're back.
I'm back.
Thanks for sticking with us. The ones that stuck
The ones
around.
that did. The few of you.
Yeah.
There's only 3 people left in the room.
Only 3.
Damn yous. Damn yous all to hell. What's next, Ben?
All right, let's move on to this wonderful segment of the show.
Individual situation. Check out the beautiful asshole.
The individual Brett Keane segment situation.
All right, this
There it
one
is.
this one is Polite Loving Response to Drunken Peasants by Brett Keane.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
My
brother's music.
Who cares?
Maybe I'll just skip this shit.
Ugh. Okay, Jesus. And
This ponderous fucking
Whoa,
intro.
whoa,
Okay,
guys,
there we go.
Didn't you see those warnings? Didn't you see those warnings? I mean, should you be playing this?
We shouldn't, but we will, because we're stupid.
It's got to be
So be nice, and you'll be approved. God bless, and have a wonderful day.
But by the way, no, the comments are totally disabled. They're not on. They're not up for review. You have all the comments disabled. Oh, look! He noticed, and he made his cam area bigger than the Patreon one because we
only slightly though.
Yeah,
only slightly.
It's fucking hot
Slowly
out here,
but surely,
ladies
we're
and gentlemen.
molding Brett into a competent video maker.
Is he a Christian now or an atheist? I don't know.
Well,
where
he's
he's
doing
at.
the Jesus thing, and they said God bless, so I guess he's a Christian right now.
Again,
it's hard to tell though.
but that's a tobacco pipe, guys. That's
Yeah.
tobacco.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see how he hits it. Let's see how many times he has to light it.
Jeez.
Tobacco.
Tobacco.
I like how he tells you right away, this is tobacco, okay?
Tobacco.
Like, Brett needs to make like one of these at the beginning of every video, like where he's just like chugging a gallon of vodka, and he'll be like, tap water, tobacco, insulin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just fucking every drug on the planet.
Chill the fuck out. It's this tobacco pipe.
Smoking.
Lighting it again.
Yeah, like a tobacco pipe that you hit like it's a weed pipe.
TJ, you did a stream not too long ago where you said that I accuse you of rape allegations.
No, you didn't accuse me of rape allegations. You accused me of rape.
Yeah, you made allegations.
Yeah.
You had someone come on your show to make allegations and sat there and let them do it.
And
that's what he accused you of.
You also made leading statements, too. So what you're saying is TJ raped someone in high school situation.
Now, you know damn well I'd never do some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know damn well.
I know damn well that would cross the line for Brett Keane. Brett Keane would never do some shit like that, y'all.
Now, let me tell you why.
Why
It's true.
Why is Brett Keane so knowledgeable about where TJ's penis has been and, you know, what it's doing? And
I think you know the answer to that.
I don't like you. It's true. I think that you're a reeking pile of fucking cow manure.
Except for a month ago when you liked me.
You're trying to have your fans believe, I guess, your drunken pissants out there, your bananas that you enlarge in your asshole.
That's a good one, Brett.
That I would accuse you of raping anybody? Are you serious?
Okay, so we actually watched the clip on our show where you are sitting there and you get this call from someone who's from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yet he has a
Grew up
thick
there.
northern accent where he pronounces the word each other. That's not a Louisiana pronunciation. Each other. Louisiana. No one from fucking Louisiana talks that way, all right? Unless they're not even originally from there. Then they fucking deliver, like, line by line. They say something, and then you reiterate it, and then they say something, and then you reiterate it, and they say something, and then you reiterate it. And the whole thing just comes across as, like, this really clumsily scripted moment. And every single person who watched it had that exact same fucking impression. Because it's just obvious watching it that it's so fucking fake, that it's so fucking staged. It's not even slightly convincing. You know, two wrestlers fucking dissing each other in the WWE are more believable than the shit you did.
It's true.
You got a dick the size of the doorbell. You couldn't penetrate a fucking mouse.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My dick's too small to have raped anything.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you going to rape anybody? You couldn't rape your own fucking hand.
I do
How
often.
about the worst sexual assault you could ever do to anything is a fucking fruit or a vegetable? And from what I seen in the video, it got the best of you.
Why the fuck did you watch the video?
Because yeah. I mean, I think once again,
He's
the
obsessed
answer
with
is
it.
obvious, dude. Dude, Brett Keane watches that banana. Brett Keane's watched it several times.
I've known
right?
TJ for years now, and I've never wanted to watch the video. Like, I know I don't want to see it. So, like,
Brett wanted to
if
see
it's
it.
so fucking disgusting and reprehensible, why did you fucking watch it, Brett? You knew it existed.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
He wanted to see it. He had to see it.
Or at least the fattest part of you.
Take off your fucking shirt. Let's see if you're fat or not, bitch.
I don't think he needs to take off his shirt for us to see that.
You and Paul's ego.
Oh.
You both micromanagement.
Micromanagement.
What?
When did you ever see Paul's dick, dude? Did you show Brett
Yeah.
Keane your dick, Paul?
No, I can't remember ever pulling my dick out for Brett Keane.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. I mean, it's okay if you did, Paul. No judgment coming from us.
All right, I did. We jerked off together one time. It was just it was totally not a gay thing. It was just guys, you know.
Did you guys hold hands while you jerked off?
I mean, at the end, because I just like after I come, I like to cuddle. You know what I mean? That's nothing. That's no big deal.
I agree. That's not a big thing. You know, they were experimenting. They were young. Wanted to see what it was like. Trusted each other. And now Brett turns around and does this.
I wouldn't be surprised if your brother Scotty was just as tiny. I bet if you all pulled down your pants on a fucking hill.
Yeah, he's really obsessed with, like, I thought, you know, like, doing the whole small dick jab, whatever, I mean, but, like, lingering on it the way you are and, like, speculating about other people's dick sizes and then talking about us all whipping out our dicks.
Yeah, I mean, like, what?
And like, yeah, I bet Scotty ain't got much worth either. You know, I bet you all, if you all pull down your pants, you all have a bunch of tiny little dicks. It's like, what?
He has the Jesus intro and everything, right? I mean,
yeah,
and
Jesus
going on.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of content Jesus would watch if he were alive today, dude. If Jesus was watching YouTube or making YouTube videos, it'd pretty much be this.
Yep. People wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. Look like this.
Pontius Pilate. Tell you one thing about him: tiny little dick, tiny,
itty bitty. Tiny little micro dick.
Me, I'm hung like this. Him, he's hung like this. Jesus, bitch.
3 tiny little fucking miniature stooges.
Okay.
Whew, it is fucking hot out here.
Notice how he did.
No, you're hot because of what you're talking about.
If you notice, he did not say that he thinks I have a little dick.
Yeah,
I just want to point
I was
that
just
out.
about to say that. Like, he's clearly a Ben fan, dude. He's trying to work the Ben angle here.
Now, Ben, on the other hand, I mean, that's
He's got
fucking.
He's got a nice
That's a
girthy cock.
respectable, thick, veiny, bulgy cock.
I bet you can feel the heat right now, right?
No, not really. But you think I'm feeling the heat from this? I mean, jeez.
Face it, man. TJ, you've been pawned. You've been pawned.
I've been hardcore pawned. It's true.
What happened, TJ, is that some prick by the name of Dean came into my hangout. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a prick. You were being pretty nice to him. I mean...
No. Dean came in your hangout, and Dean is your fucking buddy that you planted, and everyone fucking knows it. I mean, I can't prove it 100%, so, I mean, you can have your little plausible deniability, but... I mean, just go watch, and anybody who fucking doubts the story, go watch the episode we covered it in. It was only like 3 or 4 episodes back. And judge for your fucking self, because I think it's pretty fucking evident what's going on. I mean, you even, in the middle of the conversation, you make sure to specify, now it ain't me saying this. I want everyone to realize it's not me saying this. It's this guy I'm talking to, this Dean character. But he seems credible to me.
After a 5-minute dissertation on your penises, I would think that he would be okay with admitting who's saying it. But...
Fucking guy. I publicly put my link out for people to come in and chat with me. You know this. I don't make people pay to come into my shit.
Yeah, okay, so this Dean character, your version of events is there's this guy named Dean who found your channel and just said to himself, man, this guy, the Amazing Atheist, is treating Brett Keane so bad. And I went to high school with this Amazing Atheist guy. So I'm going to call up Brett Keane and tell him all about TJ's dirt. I'm not going to mention the school we went to, not going to mention any sort of, classes we shared together, not going to mention what teachers we shared together, not going to mention, any sort of specific details in this story. And Brett Keane, of course, it doesn't ask him for any of these specific details. Brett Keane just goes along with the story. And it's totally fucking staged. It's totally fucking fake. And, I mean, I don't know. That's pretty much just, I don't know what else to fucking say about it.
I put the link out. People come in.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fucking majority of them are. As far as I'm concerned, it could have been some angry Drunken Peasants fan that you fucking scammed. Who knows?
Yeah, that probably was it, dude. It was an angry Drunken Peasants fan.
How did we scam them? How did the Drunken Peasants, how did we scam people?
We probably charged them for a shirt, and then we sent them a shirt.
And that was a scam?
That's a scam, dude. It's bullshit what we did. Also, buy our shirts.
But his name is Dean, and he repeatedly said in the hangout he wanted to be on the Drunken Peasants show and deal with you on the allegations. I didn't fucking make up the allegations. I didn't write a script or a story. See, the drugs are affecting me.
Oh, see, that debunks you guys right there. He didn't write a script or story. So
it's the drugs that are affecting us.
Like I've said, I can't prove it. I can't prove this is what happened. It just seems pretty clear to me it is. It's my gut instinct. I don't have any fucking solid concrete evidence, and I would never claim I did. But, just seems like it to me. Based on the way that conversation went, based on the unnatural stiltedness of it, based on just the fact that it seemed like a scripted conversation.
And most importantly, based on the fact that it's Brett Keane that we're talking about, who has shown time and time again that there is no bottom, there is no low he will not sink to in order to try and gain internet points over somebody he dislikes. So you put all that together, Brett, and it's a pretty compelling collection of circumstantial evidence.
I actually think I'm planting people in my hangouts or pulling people in and shit. What am I? I'm the poorest motherfucker out there. You're the one with all the money.
If you're the poorest motherfucker out there, why do you have a gaming channel where you have all the latest games and a PC capable of playing them and a top-tier mic and a computer that can sit there and edit 1 billion fucking videos a day? You know, I've seen the kitchen in your house. It doesn't look like you're living in fucking poverty. I mean, maybe you're not fucking sitting there rich or something, but it seems like, you know, you ain't doing too bad, Brett. Seems like you're making ends meet. Probably not you personally, but somehow your household is fucking making money.
Also, you don't really need money to get someone to talk shit about, TJ.
No.
There's plenty of people that will volunteer.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like that's an expensive proposition, you know. No one would ever fucking come forth and say this unless I paid them $200,000 first.
Apparently like guys who shove bananas up in their ass. I don't know this guy. He comes in, he says he went to high school with you, said that you got in trouble for some shit.
All right, whatever. It's just reiterating the same bullshit over and over again. Brett, you know what you did. Fuck you.
When I was having that brief time where Brett and I talked on Skype, I was afraid of being set up with something like this because J-Dubs, his little toady, was contacting me going, "Oh yeah, Brett did this. I really need..." Like, as soon as Brett starts talking to me, all of a sudden I get J-Dubs too. You know what I mean? It just smelled like Brett trying to set me up in some way. So I told J-Dubs to go fuck himself and blocked him. But, you know, the idea that Brett would do something like this is not far-fetched in the least if you know anything about Brett Keane.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, if you would have actually taken the time to look through the entire hangout, you would have seen that I challenged him, asked him to provide evidence for his claims, and he didn't. I think he named off
What? I didn't.
He said he didn't. So this is him now disavowing what was said after, of course, you know, spending the first fucking 13 minutes of the video calling TJ a micro dick. This is how Brett Keane backs away from something that's potentially damaging to him.
I thought maybe he was going to produce a Monica Lewinsky style dress, you know, with the stain and everything.
This is TJ's jizz. This is enough. I mean, he's saying the same shit over and over.
Okay.
There's only so many times I can say that he's lying.
All right.
Shit.
All right. Here's a black cop and racist female agent at Progressive Insurance conspire to deny claim after viral video.
So, I just got off the phone with my Progressive claim insurer suggestor.
Oh, and by the way, I saw a video that came out before this one that said house that white racists bought me or something like that. So this is where the legal defense fund to fight white liberalism went for Tommy.
Yeah, we bought this house for him.
I wish they had gave me Flo, but they didn't. They gave me Jamisha, or whatever her name is.
Jamquisha.
No, her name was not Jamisha or Jamiquisha. Her name was actually Amber Stelly, S-T-E-L-L-Y.
Okay. Okay. So
Or
now
Steely.
why are you giving out their name?
Amber Steely called me.
So people can harass her, I guess.
No insurance adjuster came to see my car. No nothing.
Your car had like probably $1,000 worth of damage tops. I mean, it was a fender bender.
Yeah, they're not going to send out the fucking investigative team for a dented up fender and a broken fucking headlight.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I mean, if your car was totaled, they'd send out a fucking claims adjuster or whatever the fuck. You know, no one's gonna send out someone to look at your car when there's a fucking the bumper's fucking a little off the fucking hinge or whatever, and the headlight's kind of fucked. It's not enough damage for that.
Is this the guy that films himself driving all the time?
Yes, it is.
And he got into an accident?
Yes.
Yeah, we covered it last time on the show.
It's funny because the video before that we watched, he was all distracted in the whole video because he had his kids in the car and a cat that was meowing the whole time. He's like, he let the cat out during the video and the cat like freaked out, was like scratching his interior, and he's I don't know, man.
You should see the video of his accident because he's sitting there filming the damage, and the woman comes over to try to hand him her insurance information, and he starts berating her like, "Fuck you, bitch, you whore," and shit. And then when she talks back to him, he's like, "Look how these black women act. She coming over here instigating with me." Like, what? No, you just filmed literally the opposite of that happening, you stupid fucking retard. So anyway, now this is where we're at.
She had called me and asked me about the claim a little while ago, but then she called me again today, and she said, "Can I at least get your version again of what happened?" So I told her what happened. She said, "Well, the side of the woman contradicts what you're saying." I said, "I'm pretty sure it does." She said, "Can you go over it again?" And I told her exactly what happened from my vantage point. Then she said, "Well, let me call you right back. I'm gonna have to check over some more information." So I figured she was gonna call the woman and get more of her side. Literally within a minute, my phone rang again. So I picked it up because, as you see, I'm trying to move a lot of crap in here. I got
so interesting.
A lot of junk.
Okay.
So
why
are we filming the chandelier right now? What is the artistic choice here?
It's like the nice part of his house, so
Why are we filming a fucking chandelier? Here's an idea. If you're making a vlog, turn that camera right the fuck around and point at your goddamn face so we can see you talking. I mean, as boring as you are, the emotion of your face is probably more fucking compelling than a practically still shot of a chandelier.
Nope, chandelier.
I mean, you ain't fucking Stanley
just calling
Kubrick.
to
This
tell you
ain't
we're
working.
gonna have to pay the claim. I said, "What?" "Well, we're gonna have to find you at fault." I said, "What information did you find in less than a minute?" "Well, just reviewing the statements, her side seemed like it makes a little more sense than yours." I said, "Reviewing the statements?" I said, "What are you talking about? I have a video of the situation." She said, "Yeah, I saw the video on World Star Hip Hop." I said, "Excuse me?" She wouldn't respond. I said, "Excuse me?" She said, I'm just calling to let you know we're gonna have to pay the claim. And I said, so you saw the video on World Star Hip Hop. Did you see the video of the cop? She said, yes, the cop actually said that you are at fault. He wrote on the report right here. So we'd have to go against the woman and the police report. I said, wait a minute.
And the evidence, like where the collisions occurred.
Yeah, look, I took one look at that accident scene, and it was pretty easy to determine who's at fault. There's no damage to the front of her car. There is damage to the front of your car. What does that suggest to me? That suggests to me that you ran into her. That's not, I mean, obviously that's not 100% conclusive and shit, but given the fact that you're a distracted driver who films videos all the time while driving, and we've seen you take your hands off the wheel just to gesticulate during fucking videos and yell at kids and try to control wild cats and all this other shit going on, knowing that about you.
It sounds like an exaggeration, but all of that is true.
I mean, you're fucking insane, Tommy. Like, how do you possibly think you're in the right in this situation? Like, Tommy, just fucking step outside yourself for a second, look at the situation objectively, and realize that you're the one who fucked up in this fucking instance, all right?
Tommy never fucks up. In Tommy's mind, Tommy never fucks up. He could have hit this chick, and it's going to be her fucking fault. The cop saw it wasn't her fault. The insurance company, who clearly is going to do their due diligence to not have to pay a claim if they don't have to, says she's not at fault. It's not a conspiracy against you, Tommy. You just fucking, you're at fault. Just admit it.
He will never.
There's a video of this cop not only not wanting to write the report, but claiming in his response to me while being videotaped that he could not judge who was at fault.
Okay, well, maybe that cop said that, but the police report that actually ended up getting filed said you were at fault. So, doesn't really matter. How do you know that cop wasn't just trying to placate your dumb ass because you're acting like a fucking maniac and yelling at everybody?
Yeah. In the video, all she did was come over to him to give him her insurance information.
Yeah, and you can clearly see that in the video. And by the way, even the comments of that video seem to realize that. So even the people who are following Tommy are like, Tommy, this looks like you were at fault, man. And he's still trying to go on with his narrative like, nope, I'm in the right, guys. Tommy, you're not in the right. And also, I mean, why are you even involving your entire audience in this fucking drama about your car anyway?
He calls the progressive insurance agent a racist, which probably means they were white. White people who are against Tommy are racist. That's usually how he sets it up. Just like
he's got Leslie Jones syndrome, apparently.
Just like us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're telling me he wrote a report stating that I'm at fault when he refused to write a report at first until I had to call his white supervisor to get him to come back out and file this report? Is this what you're telling me? Are you really telling me that this black man went from
evidence?
I can't tell who's at fault, I can't write a report saying who's at fault, he's on video saying it, to now you, Miss Black Lady, are calling me, telling me that you saw a video on World Star Hip Hop.
You
so
know,
it was a black woman. It was a black woman that took his problem at Progressive. So the great thing about Tommy is that no matter what the color of the person, there's always some impetus that they want to get him. You know, so he can always use that as an out.
I mean, like, if anyone's a lighter-skinned black person, he's racist against them. If you're black and a woman, he's against you. If you're a black man, then you just have a victim complex. But if anything happens to him, he's the first one to have a crazy victim complex and say, oh, I'm being persecuted by the white man because I'm black. So pretty much no matter who criticizes him, he's always able to come up with a racial angle to it. It's pretty fucking crazy. And it's never just like people criticize me because I'm an asshole.
And then he gave us a false DMCA and shut our fucking channel down. And then we said we were going to sue him for it because it makes us lose revenue. And he started this GoFundMe campaign saying that it was to fight white liberalism. And he got like $60,000 out of it. And now he lives in this house.
There you go. Crazy sequence of events.
That's the story. What idiots, what fucking idiots gave him $60,000, man? What fucking idiot mongoloid fucking race of nitwits would fucking do this? Terrible.
He'd have to have a pretty big mortgage if he just used 60 grand for this house, I would think.
I'm sure he's probably fucking renting this place. I doubt severely that he's actually buying it. This is probably the third house we've seen Tommy in since we started watching him, and it's only been like a year or two. So, yeah.
Refusing to repeat what you said again, but telling me you're going to take the side of this woman.
I mean, I don't care at this point. I mean, why? I mean, like, if I got in a car accident, there's no fucking way I'd be like, oh shit, this is a YouTube video.
No.
Take out my phone. Time to start filming this so because my audience is gonna give a shit about this fender bender I was in. I mean, like, no one cares, Tommy. No one gives a shit, and your little delusion that you're in the right is just preposterous to anyone who's familiar with the contents of your channel. We've seen you driving recklessly. We saw the fucking footage of after the accident where it looks like your car's at fault, and then you instigate with the fucking woman when she comes up to you to fucking just hand you her fucking insurance information.
I mean, couldn't Tommy just take them to court if he really thought he was right? He could sue them, and they could review the evidence, and then if
he could.
Yeah.
Okay,
why
but
not
then
do it?
all that would happen, even if he did that, is there'd be a video shortly after, like, man, this racist judge.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
If he thought he had a leg to stand on with the proper process of disputing something like this, he could. But instead, he's just going to tap his retarded audience for some more money to help pay for the repairs to his fucking car.
You're probably right.
And this cop, who you have a video of him saying he could not make a judgment. And he didn't want to write the report anyway. So let's get this straight. The woman didn't want to write the report. The cop didn't want to write the report. The one person who wanted a report written is the one person she said, well, from what I'm seeing, it seems like what she's saying is true, especially since the cop agrees. Now, let me tell you what happened. This is the whole idea of black folks sticking together, but like they normally stick together. See, the black claims adjuster, Miss Amber Stelly, didn't like the fact that when she saw the video, she saw me calling a black woman a black bitch.
Yeah, no.
The
She
police
didn't have a
officer
horse
didn't
in
like
this race, Tommy. She's not fucking, look, she deals with a million idiots like you a day. That's her job. She does not decide that this one case, she's going to stick it to a black man. No. No, she just was told to call you and tell you that there was a judgment that they had found you at fault and that you were going to have to fucking pay the claim.
Yeah, she's a call center worker. She doesn't give a fuck.
Me. She doesn't care day to day who she hears from. Like, she hears from, like I said, probably 50 or 60 people just like you a day. Every last one of them thinks they're not at fault, and she tells them all the same shit. There's not like a fucking department down at Progressive for Tommy Sotomayor complaints where they've hired some fucking people in there to get you. No.
There's like Shaquanda, head of the Order of Black Bitches, keeping Tommy down. You know, deny his story. He a liar. It's like, what the fuck? You're so stupid, Tommy. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on.
If you walked into that house, how would you decide which stairway to walk up, the right or the left?
I do the left.
Yeah, I feel like
I'm
feeling the left.
I want to do the right because I'm always in that driving mindset, you know?
I gotcha.
Well, I went to a high school that had hallways with stairs on each side of them like that, and it was the natural flow of traffic there to take, you know, when you're going up, you go up the right side and down the left side, so.
Fuck that shit, I'm going up the left side.
All right, so the next video here is someone that we're all familiar with. Dark Matter's familiar with this person, too. So.
Who is it? Oh, you had to do it, didn't you?
What is up with this fucking music?
What's up with this music is that it's hideous.
Does he?
Have you ever heard worse music in your life?
The tuba.
I mean, it is
and
the
shit.
perfect. It is the perfect soundtrack to the life of a man who once had a shred of relevancy and has since descended into fucking complete retardism. Like, I'd want a lot of tuba in that song, is what I'm saying. So the home, yeah, just you're mumbling through life.
Dark Matter, I hear you've blamed yourself for Steve Shives on several occasions.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not your fault.
The shout
No,
out
listen.
It's
not your fault, man.
It's not your fault, Doc.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's not.
It's not. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Don't you do that. don't you mess with me, man.
No, listen. It's not your fault. No, I'm serious. No, he is horrible, though. He is a horrible man.
Last week, I published a video titled 5 Misunderstood Things About Free Speech. One of the things I said in that video is that I think the concept of free speech is a lot more complicated than how it is usually described by many self-styled defenders of free speech on the internet, most of whom believe that free speech means that they should get to say whatever they want about whoever they want, however they want, whenever they want, from whatever platform they want, and anything that stands.
Quite the epic straw man, I'm sure. I don't know anybody who believes any of that shit. That they should be able to say whatever they want about whoever they want. There's fucking laws. There's libel laws, slander laws. You can't do that. Everybody knows this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, there's probably some free speech advocates who would go so far as to say there shouldn't be libel or slander or incitement to violence kind of shit as exceptions, but that's. I mean, I don't really. That doesn't really seem to be the majority of free speech advocates to me, you know. But I think that robust criticism of fucking ideologies and viewpoints should definitely be allowed. And I think I should be allowed to make fun of fucking Steve Shives because he puts himself out there as a public fucking figure. If I want to say that Steve Shives looked like a fucking gaunt, emaciated, shriveled up turd of a man, I should be able to say that. I don't think there's anything wrong with me pointing that out.
People who treat free speech flippantly, you know, and make little jokes, freeze peach, you know, people who do this stupid shit, they never expect their speech to be the one that's limited, you know.
Of course, because this isn't about silencing. Like we said, there's laws against incitement to violence. There's laws against libel and slander. There's laws against yelling fire in a crowded theater and shit that would endanger people. The problem he has with free speech is he doesn't want to hear any critique. He wants to be surrounded by people that only agree with him, and he wants the people that disagree with him to not have a platform to do so. That's the problem. And you're right, they do treat it flippantly, the whole free speech thing that we didn't get.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
And I saw his chat with Puka, and he said that he said he does not watch videos about him, and that he's only, in his whole YouTube career, he's only ever watched 2, and that he only agreed with one, you know, and adjusted his viewpoint, you know, because he saw that this one video that disagreed with him. And so, like, all these videos made about him that criticize him, he claims anyway that he's never seen any of them. And you know what? Why? I mean, aren't you interested in, you know, finding out if you're wrong, listening to what other people have to say about what you said? I mean,
why is he a member of a public forum like this? I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to really want something that's more insular.
Yep.
And codifying and just, coddle me and tell me I'm right and stroke my hair and call me a good boy. I mean, like, that's not what this is about. It's not what this should be about. That's certainly not a productive way to fucking lead your existence if you want to develop as a human being. You have to be at least fucking willing to entertain criticisms of your positions if you're going to be someone out there fucking spreading ideology. But he just fucking thinks he's immune from criticism.
Their way of doing any of those things is an unacceptable infringement on their freedom of speech. Now, I consider this to be a very self-centered, very narcissistic view of freedom of speech. And that is not the...
He's got very soulless, rat-like eyes, too.
He does.
Yeah.
And I would argue that the idea that people should tailor their speech to, fit your particular sensibilities is self-centered and narcissistic, but what do I know?
Yeah.
View of freedom of speech that I have, and I think that is the source of the disagreement between people like me who take a more broad view of freedom of speech and people who view it in a very narrow first-person sense, as I as an individual should be able to say whatever I want and anything.
Oh my God. No one,
What the fuck?
No one views it that way. I guess there's probably some fucking simpletons going around like, freedom of speech means that I can say what I want to. Actually, you're the one who views it that way, you fucking asshole. You're the one who goes around saying that my opinions are right and anyone else's should be fucking silenced. So you're the fucking narcissistic piece of shit who believes that way. You're the one with a narrow fucking view of freedom of speech.
Less than that is not free speech. And that's a disagreement that I wanted to sort of explore in this video, because it was something that came up over and over again in responses to that video in the comment section on Twitter and Facebook, etc. Many of the folks who disagreed with me or objected to things I said in that video were objecting to that suggestion that freedom of speech does not mean I get to say whatever I want. So I wanted to explain why I think that. Why I think that freedom of speech doesn't mean you as an individual always get to say whatever you want. The main reason why I have the view of freedom of speech that I do, as opposed to that other view.
I gotta be honest with you, so far I find your idea of freedom of speech to be incredibly vague.
Yep.
You might describe it as broad, but I would describe it as almost inscrutably vague. I'm not really sure what you believe at this point, but maybe you're going to enlighten me, so I guess I'll let this play out a little longer.
Is that I see freedom of speech as something that needs to function in society in order for it to be any good. In principle.
What does that mean? What do you mean function in society? I don't understand that.
This is how I'm going to justify placing arbitrary limits on free speech. It needs to function in society. Let me guess, Steve. In order to function in society, it's got to not offend any of your sensibilities, right? Crazy.
Why would inoffensive speech need to be protected? I mean, it's already protected.
Yeah, I mean, like how many fucking political speeches that were unpopular at the time were actually against the fucking function of society. Like when someone said, I think this slavery thing we're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
That was actually against the function of society at the time. You fucking nitwit.
How many people
the
were
status quo
affected?
should be challenged. Fucking saying that we got to go along with what society wants to be part of a functional fucking society is just gibberish. These are the thoughts of a fucking fascist maniac. Sorry, Dark Matter, go ahead.
Oh, it's all right. This is why people come up with that word regressive. Like, how many people were offended about the idea of women voting?
Tons.
Yeah.
And it went against the function of that society. So I mean, this criteria you've created is basically just it fucking halts progress dead in its fucking tracks. Because this means that no one can ever challenge the status quo in any sort of meaningful way. Fuck you.
The notion that free speech means that everybody gets to say whatever they want sounds great. Sounds like, oh, that's total freedom, right? That's perfect total freedom. But when you translate that principle into practical terms and you start to look at a society where everyone is free to say whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, to whoever they want, what does that society look like? And is that a society, A, that anyone would really want to be a part of?
And
really
B, funny if after he said, what would that society look? And then someone shut him up, cut him off.
Yep. Cut the speech.
That's what
is that a society where free expression, free speech is something that would even be able to happen for most people? Would the option of free expression be available to most people in that society?
Yeah, it sounds like it's available to everyone in that society.
And I think the answer is no.
All right.
I think in a society where free speech is defined as each individual should be allowed to say whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, to whoever they want, from whatever platform they want, such a society would be a society where eventually, for all practical purposes, free speech would no longer exist. And this is what is called the paradox of tolerance.
All right.
This is something that was that has existed in philosophy for a very long time, but it was described.
Keep in mind that this is based on a straw man, because nobody's saying freedom of speech means everyone can say whatever they want to whoever they want on whatever platform. Nobody's saying that shit. So he's setting up the straw man.
He's definitely exaggerating a position and creating a fucking straw man and shit. I mean, this is not accurate, but I'm just gonna. I like to, in these situations, just fucking give him the benefit of the doubt and just say, okay, let me just roll with this and just grant you your ridiculous fucking premise for a second to see where you're going with this argument.
Look at this. This is a screenshot. Screenshot, everybody. There you go.
He looks the way
beautiful.
The way he's fucking positioned right now, it looks like he doesn't have any bottom teeth except for on the sides there.
Named The Paradox of Tolerance by Karl Popper in 1945, I think. Popper describes the paradox of tolerance as unlimited tolerance leading inevitably to intolerance. In other words, if you have a society where you say we tolerate everything, including intolerance, inevitably you will wind up with an intolerant society.
You mean like you guys do with Islam?
Yeah, I was just about to say. Islam is the most intolerant ideology out there, and when you welcome that, with open arms, what do you think's going to fucking happen?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that. I mean, like Steve Shives, I mean, he's bent over backwards to defend Islam. He's bent over backwards to admonish his old videos that were critical of Islam. So, I mean, isn't that being hyper tolerant of intolerance? That seems like you're doing the very thing you're condemning here, but let's see where you're going.
Because there will be nothing to prevent the intolerant from taking over, from taking power in that society, and you will wind up with a society that, in principle, values tolerance very much, but is in practice a very intolerant society. And this can also be phrased in terms of freedom. You could say, if we want to have a free society, we cannot have a society where individuals are free to do whatever they want, because inevitably you will end up with a society that is not free, but a society where in fact there is very little freedom. I realize these are very lofty concepts to be discussing in a YouTube video, but
I mean, not really. They're actually kind of like basic and simplistic. I mean, I don't think anyone's sitting there like, whoa, Steve Shives, hold on, slow down. I'm trying to write this in my steno pad because this is just like concepts I'm going to have to ruminate on for hours before I truly understand them and the depth. I mean, you explain them so well, but still, my tiny pea brain just needs time to process these lofty concepts.
Wait,
like what? I mean, that's just a silly, whatever.
Actually, YouTube provides us with a very instructive microcosm of the paradox of intolerance at work. A great example of what happens when you say, I'm going to tolerate everything, including intolerance, are comment sections of videos that are unmoderated.
No.
If you have ever looked at the
YouTube has like really strictly enforced standards of content. So they're not this open, tolerant fucking place. In fact, I would say that they probably are closer to agreeing with you. They're not overly tolerant. Just because people come and disagree with you in the comment section and shit does not mean that YouTube is tolerant of intolerance.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to regulate those comment sections. I mean, YouTube has definitely made strides to try to get the comments under control. Like when they first introduced the new comment system, it seemed like the troll comments did get buried for a while, but once the trolls figured out the new algorithms and shit, the fucking troll comments just started being at the top again, because YouTube can't fucking really put a lid on that shit. You can't put a lid on the raging subconscious id of the fucking internet. You're never going to control that.
Oh yeah, I guess I should screenshot this one too.
Oh my god, look at him.
The chat.
What the fucking shit? Looks like a fucking grizzled old sea captain what's been living on old rations for a month at sea or something.
That's the most. Also, hey, can you get rid of our pictures again so we could read that poster? The most ironic thing that you could possibly have on that poster behind him, because they can take it.
Yeah, no, clearly they can't.
Yeah, and he can't. That's funny.
Is it about criticism?
If it is, then he's certainly not. It's not apt to be in his background, dude.
Unmoderated comment section of a YouTube video that has a subject that is even remotely controversial for people watching the video. Once that element enters the comment section, unless action is taken to control it or remove it, it will inevitably take over the comment section.
Okay, what happens though? Let's say you have an unmoderated comment section and people say all kinds of shit. What really happens at the end of the day? What's the big deal?
Yeah, you're still free to say what you want. The words he used are weasel words. He said, take over. You still have the freedom to say something entirely reasonable and not inflammatory at all. Just because a bunch of other people are saying inflammatory shit, that doesn't stop you from being able to not be like them.
I mean, yeah, I've read comment sections where half the comments were retarded bullshit, and then there was people having, like, reasonably intelligent discussions in other threads in the same fucking comment section. You know, he acts like it all just becomes fucking a white noise of angry fucking dissident viewpoints just raging at each other. I mean, sometimes it does, and especially in your fucking comment section, because people fucking resent you trying to control the fucking comments on your goddamn videos. And, you know, you go to Steve Shives' videos, and anytime he actually does allow comments, most of the comments are about how his videos are fucking bullshit. So, of course, he doesn't like the fucking YouTube comments. Of course, he holds a fucking grudge. But he doesn't realize that his behavior is what led to that. I mean, like, Steve Shives could have all the fucking same viewpoints he has. He could be a fucking feminist. He could fucking hold the fucking views that he has. He can make the videos he does. But if he allowed his comment section to be open and he didn't fucking have block bots all over Twitter and he actually would engage in discussion with people, he wouldn't be nearly the hated figure that he is.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, he might be someone that people dislike because they disagree with him, but at least they wouldn't fucking be able to sit there and admonish his fucking tactics, which people can easily do. Because the way he conducts himself is just ridiculous and cowardly.
It's not good enough for Steve that he has tools at his disposal to control his comment section, too. If he never wants a nasty thing to be seen in his comment section again, he can fucking put his comments to approval or turn them off. Like, he acts like he's got no tools. And he wants to apply his standard of what is a good comment and what isn't to the broad concept of freedom of speech in a society. I don't see the comparison.
There isn't one.
Within a matter of hours, sometimes minutes, depending on how quick the deluge comes in, will become just a complete mess, will become completely useless to anyone who watches the video and wants to have anything constructive or relevant to say. It will become just a toxic mess.
I mean, like, you don't get to be the arbiter of what's fucking relevant to the fucking discussion. You know, you don't get to be the puppet master that controls how other people perceive fucking videos or what opinions they have or whether they choose to make a fucking joke out of things that you think should be taken seriously. I mean, you don't get to decide those other people's fucking sensibilities. That's like the biggest issue I sense with you is that you're mad that you can't fucking be the puppet master, that you can't control how everyone else thinks and feels all the time. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're not fucking God. There is no God. You know, I think that he's the one in the fucking VR simulation in Dark Matter's fucking videos, man.
I think he acts a lot like how those early Christians on YouTube acted. If you recall, they'll, they'll open up their channel and call it a ministry, and they'll even take donations, and they block or anybody who disbelieves or disagrees, atheists, the very people whose minds they would need to change in order to be a good Christian, in order to do what Jesus did. What Jesus says, you don't heal the sick by talking to the well. You got to go to where the sick people are. So if you're a Christian ministry, you're going to be very ineffective if you only talk to Christians. You only preach to the choir. And Steve, for a guy like Steve, who I'm sure fancies himself an activist, if he only talks to people who already agree with him, he's not making any kind of meaningful change. He's being the online YouTube Christian ministry who builds an echo chamber composed of the people most likely to give him money. And Steve Shives is the one who benefits the most from his activism, which I have dubbed Shivetivism.
I agree with every word of that. Dark Matter, we're going to be going into a segment called Story Time with Paul, where most of us just shut up, so you could stick around for that if you want, or you can hit the road if you've...
Be happy to hear it.
All right,
great.
cool.
Everyone give this video a thumbs up. We got 5,117 people watching. If you're not subscribed to our channel, subscribe now.
Thumbs up, thumbs
subscribe
up.
now.
All
Subscribe
right, do
now. All right.
Story time with Paul.
It's been a while since I've heard that intro. This one, I don't even know how to tell this story yet, to be honest with you, because it just happened.
Yes.
So it's not a story that I've fine-tuned, but I think it's a story that just benefits from telling it how I perceived it. So since I started coming down to Columbus, the guys have been trying to get me to a Waffle House. And I was like, at first I was like, I've been to a Denny's. I know what a little greasy spoon diner is like. They're like, no, you have to have this experience. You have to experience the ambiance of a Waffle House. And so after the last show on Monday, late at night, we all decided to head over and get some Waffle House at like 1 a.m. or midnight or whatever it was. And I didn't know what to expect. TJ had they'd laid it on pretty thick, and I was like, it's probably just going to be a general fucking place. I was actually actively trying to downplay it in my mind. And so we walk in, and the first thing I notice, and that everybody notices, is that every fucking table in the joint is just heaped with trash. Like 3 or 4 fucking groups of guests had eaten at these fucking tables and just like shoved their garbage over into the corner. Like not a single table in the place was bust. There are 2 people working, 1 person on the grill and 1 waitress. There are several people sitting in the restaurant, either eating or ordering. And we there's 5 of us. We happen to find like the bar like right in front of where they cook and take your order and shit. That was clean enough for us to sit. So we do. And it's a long fucking time before we're even acknowledged, like, as human beings. Like, I was just kind of watching the waitress, and she's buzzing around doing things, but nothing seems to be getting any better. Like, all the busy work that she's doing is just exacerbating the problems. Finally, she gets over to us. She's flustered. You can tell it's been a busy night. They got a rush or whatever. And she takes our orders. And Scotty ordered steak and eggs, which I thought, like, looking at the line of people that hadn't been served yet and the fucking huge mess of dishes and shit back there, I was like, man, that's the last thing to come out. But like a minute and a half after we ordered, boom, Scotty's got his fucking steak and eggs. Nobody else has anything. But the hardest thing to cook apparently was the quickest thing to come out this night. So while we're sitting there, 2 other dudes walk in. They sit down. The woman's attending to us, but she does it like piecemeal. It's like she comes over, like there's usually a flow to waitressing. Like you come over, you take an order, you go back, you get drinks, you bring them out, then you bring the food. That was all out the fucking window because she had a billion things to do. She needed to bus tables. She needed to fucking wait on people. And so we got waited on, and then who knows how long it's going to be till we get our fucking food. So we're sitting there, and and TJ looks over at me. I kind of look over at him, and he gives me this grin, like, "Yeah, you see what I'm talking about?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is pretty bad. I mean, it's not out of the question. Like, I've been in places that are busy before, but this is shaping up to be memorable, you know." Little did I know that the shit had not even come close to hitting the fan yet. So these other two dudes that are sitting over there that came in after us, basically at some point just give up, because the woman, no matter what she does, she cannot find time to go and wait on them. Also, we noticed at this point that she's arguing a little bit with the cook. Like they're getting in these like heated little spats of like, he's like, run it by me again. She's like, I wrote it all on the plates. It's all right there in front of you. You can't read the plates. And he's like, just run it through. You know, so I'm like, oh, okay. I had come to believe that like it was the customers at a Waffle House that I should keep my eye on, but apparently like tonight, not so. So we're sitting there, and that argument is going on. I'm watching this waitress get more and more fucking exasperated, and TJ at some point looks over at me and said, "Didn't we order drinks?" Oh no. Anyway, our food starts to come out. That's first. She starts bringing our food. And one by one, we all kind of get served, and we're eating. And that's when TJ goes, "Didn't we order drinks?" And I was like, "Yeah, we did, but she hasn't gotten around to it yet." And TJ goes, "Fuck that," and just stands up. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? TJ walks up and behind the bar where customers are not supposed to go, grabs a fucking cup, grabs the ice thing, scoops some ice, and fucking pours himself a soda. In the midst of this, the waitress goes, "Oh, yeah, sir, go ahead. Do what you got to do. I'm so sorry." And the cook walks over, and he's like, Sir, you can't do that. You cannot do that." And TJ literally goes, "Fuck you. I ordered drinks like a fucking hour ago. I'm thirsty." And goes and sits down with his drink. That, I think, was the catalyst for what happened next. Because the fucking two people working there had a meltdown of epic proportions, like right in front of us. The woman would say something pretty reasonable to the dude, and then he would be like, "Shut the fuck up. Keep your fucking voice down, man. People listening." And it's only him that's saying anything that's out of order. You know what I mean? "Shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking mouth. Keep your fucking mouth shut." You know, and it's just openly audible to us sitting here. At some point, the waitress comes over and gives me and Chelsea, who are sitting kind of on the end, and I guess by proxy, everybody else, a sob story about how it's the cook's fault. She's like, "Man, it's just him. I give him the orders, and he doesn't know how to do it. And he's incompetent. I'm really trying. I really don't, we're having a hard time." And we're like, "It's okay. It's cool." And at some point, there were tears. I mean, she broke down into fucking complete, like, absolute tears. And she's just openly crying while she's serving us, like she's bringing silverware or bringing extra napkins or something. I've never had a waitress openly sob serving me. She's just like, "Here's a plate. Oh, here's your biscuit. Oh, I hope that's okay. Is that okay? Okay, you're okay. And I'm just like, fuck. This is the most gut-wrenching experience I've ever had in an establishment. Like, up until this point in my life, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Then, at some point, she excuses herself. She's like, "Everybody's got what they need. I'm going to step outside for a few minutes, guys, and just take a quick breather." And we're like, "Yeah, go. Okay, it's cool. Go ahead and do it." And when she did that, then the cook comes over to us. So now we're going to get both sides of the fucking story. The cook goes, "Man, I'm real sorry, guys. She's got something going on with a baby, something going on outside of work, and she's just crazy tonight, man. I don't understand what's going on. I don't get it." And we're like, "Yeah, it's cool." Trying to figure out how to walk this fucking balance beam between these two extreme positions without causing more fucking ruckus. She comes back in at some point. We're ready to leave. We all stand up. And for the first time in my life, I got rung up by somebody who was openly weeping, which I've never, like she's like, "Okay, yours is 1119. Okay, can I see your ID? Thank you." Okay. I mean, the guys will back me up on this if they unmute themselves. Like, I'm not exaggerating this.
It's 100%
Oh yeah,
true.
You forgot to mention that the cook tried to bribe us with free food if we didn't call management about what we saw there.
You ain't gonna tell no one about this, right? I'll hook you guys up with anything you want for free.
Yep, that's what he said.
And then he gave us, and then he ended up giving us like a plate that he made earlier that was like fucked up, like it was not the right order. So he's just like, "You guys have this free plate," and then we're all like, "Shit, yeah." And Paul's like, "Give me them hash browns and shit."
Yeah, he did give us free food so that we wouldn't call the management. But nobody at that bench was calling the management because the way this unfolded was just too fucking perfect. And at some point, I looked over at TJ and I was like, "So is this standard?" And TJ was like, "No, this isn't even standard for a Waffle House. This is way beyond. Your first time at a Waffle House is the craziest one I've ever fucking seen."
Yeah, me too.
And so we left an empty Waffle House behind. By the time we left, there was nobody else left in the place except for the two people working there. Covered
two
in
dudes
garbage.
you mentioned earlier left without even getting
the
their
two
order
people
taken.
that came in. Yeah, they never even got seen by the waitress, as far as I know. They just kind of just gave up at some point and walked out. And we left that place with like a sobbing waitress, a pissed off cook, and covered like waist deep in garbage. I cannot think. I was telling TJ, I've had all of those things at some point happen to me during a dining experience. Like I've been to places where it's really busy and they haven't had time to bust the tables, and I've been to places where somebody on the staff clearly isn't getting along with somebody else, and I've seen people break down into tears momentarily, but never all at once. Like the confluence of shit that happened that night was so far beyond any expectation that I had.
And it was surreal to pay your check to like a crying woman too.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, we all tipped her well, because how do you not tip somebody well that's weeping? You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of hard not to at that point. It's kind of hard not to.
I don't, but this clearly was not planned. She wasn't like weeping to get tips out of us. She was weeping because it was the worst day of her fucking life. So I got to witness like probably the worst day of her life and that cook's life. And I got to, and to top it all off, the cherry on top is, you would expect in an environment like that where there's acrimony and crying and waist deep garbage that the food that you get would be soggy and shit. It was delicious. I ate every scrap of everything that I was served, and it was like really good. I mean, it wasn't like blow my head off, the best thing I've ever eaten, but fuck, man. I ate, like I said, I ate everything, and then when he brought that other plate over, I was like, give me some more of that fucking hash brown. Yeah, buddy. So despite all the fucking craziness, I was served a decent meal. And I think that probably sums Waffle House up pretty nicely.
It's like I said, Paul, dinner and a show, man. Dinner and a show.
You weren't fucking kidding. You were not kidding.
All right, guys, that wraps our show up. And hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you to DarkMatter2525 for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You were not
fun.
as slow-witted as advertised, Dark Matter. I think maybe you just got a complex, dude. You did fine.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, you did a good job, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, we will be having some pre-recorded episodes.
Yeah, since we're all going to be gone to New Orleans and New Mexico, respectively. And
then I go to New Orleans later.
Yeah, and he's coming to New Orleans down the line. We got some pre-recorded shows that we did that are going to be playing for you guys over the next few days. So be sure to check those out. You're not going to see notifications of a live show. It's just going to be uploads of pre-recorded shows.
Yeah, but at least you get something. I mean, we're going to be gone for over a week, so
yeah. But we figured we try to get you guys covered for that time period. So
go to the meetup, guys.
Come to New Orleans.
I think it was like 90 something.
95, I think. Last I checked.
Yeah, it's slowly but surely growing. But like we said for this last meetup. Yeah, like we said for this last meetup, those of you that are in the interested column, like there ain't much time to move it over. You know what I mean? And there's not enough room for all of you either. So if like all 99 that are interested show up, somebody's going to be standing outside. So now's the time.
Now's the time to move your fucking name from interested to going.
Someone said they're all pre-recorded.
The Drunken Peasants conspiracy.
Yeah, somehow we know which...
somehow we knew about your comment, though.
Yeah.
Fucking dickwad.
All right. So, we will see you guys again soon. Have a good fucking night. Subscribe, like, all that wonderful shit. Share our videos. Goodbye, everybody.
Peace, everybody.